tell me what they would have been saying behind my back if I go, can I have some toast and butter?
Because you sound like him. Like, can I have some toast and butter?
So I literally be like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. Then it's like, what that's basically it.
154, we all connected, baby, you already know. I'm talking 154, we bringing Africa around the whole globe. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like
There's no better time than now to drop the new jersey right here at the World Cup. 154 jersey, go get it.
Welcome to another episode of 154. Our guest today is one of the most popular and sought-after actresses. As a multiple award-winning film star, she is one of Nollywood's most versatile actresses, known for commanding performances in blockbuster productions. She won the Most Promising Talent Award at the Best of Nollywood Awards, was named to the Forbes 30 Under 30 Africa list. But she is more than an actress. She made history as the first Nigerian to release a documentary on Netflix called Skin. She is a talented screenwriter, a creative producer, a storyteller, an entrepreneur, and a powerful voice for empowerment, widely regarded as one of the most inspiring women in Nigeria today. From commanding the big screen to creating meaningful stories behind the scenes, she continues to redefine what it means to be a multifaceted force in entertainment. Please join us in welcoming the incredible Beverly Naya to 154.
154!
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I love that intro. Thanks so much.
Did you like it?
Yeah. When you hear Godfrey with the intros like that, what's going through your mind when you're hearing that?
Am I supposed to be in the room right now? This is a bit much.
You're like, that's not true. None of it.
Isn't it weird? It's a bit weird though to hear the accomplishment, to hear kind of the impact that you're having. When you heard that, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
I mean, it's always humbling. Like, I won't lie. Sometimes I forget all the things I accomplished because sometimes I have this thing where I'm like moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But I'm always working on that because I just need to be present all the time. So when I hear all my stuff back to me, I'm like, wow, I've really accomplished a lot and I'm just excited about what's to come, you know?
Yeah. Well, before we get into it, we've got some chin-chin here.
Love chin-chin.
So we wanted to, and we decided because, we said, we didn't want to be putting, it's a little earlier in the day. We've done to the East Coast, so we've got our chin-chin here.
East Coast.
And we got a little toast. We got a little toast with water. This is the first time we've ever,
Water.
She's very healthy.
How did you know I don't?
We do our research.
Okay.
We do our research.
Yes,
we didn't want to be
water.
disrespectful. There we go.
Thank you.
We got that here.
Say water. We use water.
Thank you.
Okay,
No
there we
palm
go.
wine.
I
We
love
use
chin-chin.
water
There you go.
and some chin.
So, I used to get in trouble, because I'm left-handed and I would do this and I got so many beatings from, I'm left-handed.
Yeah, you don't do it with your left hand.
with the left. I mean, it was
No left hand.
so
You can't do that
even
in
as I'm getting ready to do it, I'm like, okay, make sure you go with the right
Yeah, you can't do that in Nigeria. I remember one time
left hand.
I was literally back in Nigeria after being away for like a couple of months. And I was at the airport trying to sort out my luggage and then customs held me. And then they're like, oh, show us what you have and blah, blah, blah. So I was using my left hand and I was like, this is it. And they're like, why are you using your left hand? They were so upset. I'm like, yo, I've been away for a little bit of time. I completely forgot. It's a real thing. And until now, like even here, I actually give people things with my right hand, no matter what, because I just don't want any issues.
I didn't know that the left hand thing was, because Nigerians won't tell you. They have to check you as you do the wrong thing.
Yeah, right.
My aunt, I was like 9 or something. She goes, okay, I will give you money. And I said, okay. He's like, your left hand. He's like, what's wrong with my left hand? I didn't know. I said, can I get a pamphlet on how to be Nigerian? Damn, is there a pamphlet? Is there a rule book to be a Nigerian? You got to learn. You have to learn on the spot. Then you learn.
But it's not all culture. Sorry, it's not all cultures though. Like it's just specific ones.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's really big in Yoruba culture, but I don't think it's as prominent in Igbo culture.
Yeah,
I'm
so it's the
Igbo
same
as
thing.
well.
So same thing for Igbos as well.
No,
I'm saying I'm asking.
Oh yeah, because my auntie was like, well, left hand.
Yeah.
Use your right. I was like, dang, okay. To take money.
Yeah, like in Lagos, for example, it's a big thing.
Big
You've got to
deal.
use your right hand. The second you use your left, They just
Well,
think you're
social
disrespecting
cues
them.
are huge in Nigeria. Social cues. I remember like my father was sitting, watch TV, and I went across. He goes, "You don't cross my legs."
Yeah, right.
Oh my
you
gosh,
cross-
that's another
I
one.
was like, "Cross your
Yeah.
legs." I was like, "I need a pamphlet." I didn't know I was
It's
supposed to-
apparently bad luck. You
Yeah,
know?
don't cross your
Yeah,
legs.
like it could literally stunt your growth or stunt your progress.
Africans,
That's the
don't
that's the-
cross
Okay,
my
you
legs.
talking about crossing your legs like
No,
this?
no. If
No,
I'm
like-
crossing across, if I do this, let's say there's more space here, and I'm going across. Like, excuse,
You can't
don't
do that.
I should do that way. I should go
Yeah.
that way. You go,
You
why are
can't
you
do that.
crossing my legs? I go, I'm just going. I didn't know. Wow. There was
Yeah.
no cross my legs.
Yeah.
I knew the one. I wonder if you've experienced this one. Like if somebody had their hand in the door, you could not walk underneath because it was like it will stunt your growth. When you said that, it took me
Oh,
back.
that's another one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
so
know
my
this
mom
one.
would make me walk in reverse. Like if you want to come back, and you had to come back and walk. I'm like, what
my
is
God.
So
that?
that means
I don't
it
know
didn't
that
stunt
one.
yours.
It didn't stunt mine.
backed up a
And then there's the hand one as well, where you
that?
can't, you know, if someone's older than you can't literally give them something. You have to like literally, present it kind of like this, you know?
Oh,
Mhm.
about
There's so
asking
many.
the age. I didn't know my cousin, Educate, one of my favorite cousins, right? And I was like, Educate, how old are you? And my father said, you asking his age for what? You don't ask someone, even if it's your cousin, you don't ask older people their age.
Yeah.
Women, you definitely don't ask. But an
Yeah.
older relative, you just don't ask. I go, all right, can I get a pamphlet?
Yeah.
I didn't know, because I'm just asking him like, how old are you? Because he was young.
Yeah.
I'm like 10. Hey, you don't.
Yeah,
The-
you're not supposed to ask. So I remember moving from London to Lagos was such a huge culture shock for me, you know,
Yeah.
just being there because the differences are just so many. And you just start to feel like you're losing yourself in the process because you're trying to please everyone, you know? Like-
It's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
So I want to go to the roots of your name. What is your full name? We always love to give our full names here. Your full Nigerian name.
Oh,
We got to put it out there.
Nothing's longer than his.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. You're
no,
good.
Mine it's actually really simple. It's just
Okay.
Beverly Naya Bassi. That's it.
Ifanaya.
Yeah, Bassi. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So, and then you went with Naya though. That's
Yeah,
kind of becoming.
so
Why is that?
Ifanaya is my middle name, and I just figured. I remember when I moved to Nigeria, because I have like a relatively English-sounding surname. I remember having, like seeking mentorship when I just moved to Nigeria, and I was having a sit down with Auntie Joke Silva, who's like a huge prolific actor in Nigeria.
Yes, yeah.
And then she was telling me, just basically advising me, and she was like, you should probably look into having a name that just sounds a bit more indigenous. What's your middle name? And I told her it was Ifanaya. And she was like, okay, that's a really nice name. Maybe look into that. And I was like, Beverly Ifanaya, I don't think that would really, I'm not sure that's really my identity. So I was
Right.
like, okay, I was watching a movie. And in the movie, the character's name was Ifanaya, but they abbreviated it to Naya. And I was like, oh, I like that. It could be Beverly Naya. That could work. So I started practicing that name. And I was like, okay, this is it. I like this name. And that's how that came about.
And that's how it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. It's always cool to hear kind of the origin of how
Yeah.
a person chooses whether, for you, I don't know if they say stage name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how the world has gotten to know you. You moved to America when you were around 6 years old. So you were born in the UK, moved to the States. When did you go to Nigeria? What was that
So I
move
was
like?
born in London.
Okay.
And pretty much lived there my whole life, but I was traveling a lot, with my family as a kid. But then I was born and raised in London, left London when I was right after graduating. My whole life is like all over the place, but left London right after graduating, moved to Lagos and lived in Lagos for over a decade. And then I was like, I want to see what's happening in America. And the rest is history. It's been 3 years.
Wow. So what has been when you start looking at some of the cultural differences, because you've experienced that, I've only lived really in the United States. I've been to so many different countries, but
Right.
never really lived. I mean, I would love to know what that would feel like to live in Nigeria and to live in London.
Yeah.
And now you're here in the States. You've got a good sample size. What's that cultural change and difference? What has that done for you?
It can be really chaotic sometimes because, you're always adjusting to different cultures. My accent just feels all over the place sometimes. You know what I mean? Because I've got the Nigerian influence and of course my core accent is British. And then I have this thing where I'm always adjusting to different accents, as a joke and sometimes for real.
Yeah.
So my accent is all over the place. But I would say as far as cultures go and how it's influenced me, it's just, it almost feels like you've got to be conscious of how people live their lives in different regions. Do you know what I mean? In order for you to just adjust seamlessly. And I feel like, yeah, that has been challenging, but I mean, it's also quite fun just learning new cultures.
Yeah.
And I feel like even the comparisons between Atlanta and New York, it's like I'm learning all over again because they are so different. You know what I mean? That Southern hospitality that I got in Atlanta, woo, it's slightly different in New York, but I love it because New York reminds me of London, and we're not that friendly right off the bat. You know what I mean? As Londoners.
We accept you. And it's honesty. It's
exactly.
Why is that? Why is that? I want to know, because I think you bring up a really good point. When you travel to the UK, it's it can be a little abrupt, especially coming from Los Angeles and everybody's just so cool.
You know why?
Yeah, but here and then there is that similarity. What is that?
I believe it's because New York and London is dense.
Tight quarters.
You're walking around. You're around contact with people, so you're very honest. It's okay. You can brush by somebody. It's not a big deal. My bad. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? It's just because you're on the ground. You're taking the tubes. You're in the tubes. You're in the subway.
Yeah.
In LA, it's like I'm in the car.
No.
Let me tell you something. LA people
there's people over there. Roll up your window.
I love LA, but woo, it can be bougie. I can't lie.
Easy.
You know?
What do you mean easy?
You're a native.
Don't be influenced by him.
You know what? When I was considering, where to move between obviously New York and LA, I considered LA, but then because I've always loved LA, and for the when you consider the nature of what I do, you would think I'd instantly gravitate towards LA. Right. But there's just something about it. I honestly feel like I would have been miserable over there. I love LA and Jonathan.
No. Don't please.
But what's crazy about that is that's how I used to feel about New York before I moved here. I never thought I'd ever live in New York. That's the truth. Because I've always felt like New York is a lot. You know what I mean? So I've always said, 5 days max in New York and then I got to be out. That's what I've always said. But I had one trip to LA, because I go there all the time, but there was a specific trip where, I went there and I don't know what happened, but there was a massive shift mentally. And I was like, yeah, there's no way I can live here. I just feel like there's this vibe that, I can't do it. And I thrive on just being who I am, loving who I am.
I wish I would have.
My mental,
Yeah, you want that.
But the mental's here. You walking, somebody bump into you, they don't say nothing.
I love it. It's authentic.
But my thing is, first of all, New Yorkers
came for violence.
First of all, New Yorkers are great with space. Okay, they're not always bumping into you. That's not the truth.
That's true.
They're not just going, "Yo, wake up, New York." Nobody.
Yeah, no one's
they're very honest. They're very friendly. New York was voted one of the friendliest cities a couple years ago.
I personally think this.
People are. It's just they go, man, they're just no. In LA, I'm just saying, he's a native of LA, so it's different. The guys that are native, the women and men I know that are native are dope. They're the ones. It's us that come in and stink up the place because we have this thing, TMZ. TMZ stands for 30 Mile Zone.
Oh, really?
That's what it stands for because it's Hollywood. It's all Hollywood.
Right.
The 30 Mile
Zone. Bubble.
Right. So us dummies that come from the Midwest and the South, we think there's an attitude you're supposed to have in Hollywood. Right. Everybody starts being phony. Yeah. And it stinks up the place. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because everyone's supposed to, have an audition.
Right.
And it's like everyone knows someone.
Okay. Hold on. Let me represent.
It's like the world is literally 6 degrees of separation. In LA is literally 0.5. You know what I mean? In LA.
It's facts though.
It's facts.
That was a great line. I had never heard that.
Beautiful.
Okay, so this is, let me just say, as a person born in Los Angeles, I can honestly say that we reject those types of people.
Right.
They come into our city and then they started, like you said, they pollute it.
Yeah.
And this is what it sounds like. You and I are just going to go right into role playing right now. So, I was over at D-Dub's house and D-Dub was telling me that, yo, man, you got to check out this new water. And then you don't know who that is. So you're going to naturally say, who's D-Dub?
Yeah. Who's D-Dub?
I'm sorry. I call him D-Dub. Denzel Washington. So Denzel Washington, and you'll be like, what? Don't nickname him. Don't nickname him. I don't know Denzel Washington. So don't be calling him D-Dub like I know who D-Dub is. And those people, you're like, you're not from LA. But I can see how that could be irritating.
Or they're always looking over your shoulder to see if someone more important is coming over your shoulder. They don't really look at you in LA. No, they'll be like this. They'll be like, so we're gonna, okay. okay. Yo, hey, I'll be right back.
That's the thing.
So I got to play defense on them going,
Yeah,
nah,
I'm
we were
right
talking.
here.
It's like there's a glaze in their eyes. They're so desperate to make it. They can't just have a grounded conversation. And it's, like I said, it's not every single person in LA, but I noticed the natives of LA are not like that. Because this is where they live.
Right.
But it's us that come and stink up the place. I'm just keeping it 100.
No, that's how I feel, to be honest. And I feel, you know, for someone like me, I've spent a long time working on my mental health. I ain't gonna lose it all in LA just like that. You know what I mean? Chasing a dream indefinitely and then feeling like everyone's doing better than me. And just this competitive energy that exists over there, that comparison thing as well. It's a lot. It can do a lot. It can really affect your mental health negatively, especially when there's a lot of smoke and mirrors as well. So you're just basically comparing yourself to people that are probably lying to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just feel like, you
know what it's like to have, for it to be sunny and you're depressed? That's LA sometimes.
Yeah.
It's because the sun is supposed to bring
dopamine and serotonin and
and you don't have a lot of sun here. Like, oh yeah, New York. I go, but you know what? It's nice to feel good, even if it's foggy out or but I feel good. I feel like people are real. I'm around good people.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what the weather is.
Yeah.
But when it's sunny out and you feel like something is up, that's a real.
You need to come to. You guys need to come to LA. I know you've been out a lot. You need to come to LA and hang out with some real Los Angeles folks.
Don't get me wrong. I love LA. I love LA.
Okay.
But I just know that, you know, being there long term would just do more harm than good. That's basically it. I just want to be here, rooted in New York, and fly to LA when I need to, have my meetings. If I need to be there for a month or whatever, cool. Do you understand what I mean? But I just don't want to be there full time.
All right, let's talk about food in comparison, because there's a lot of this going on, especially on social media. People always got something to say when it comes down to food. Who better to ask than you?
Okay. I'm a foodie, so maybe I'm the best person. Who's
food? I'm going to get specific with this. I'm going to get general and then specific.
Okay.
Whose food is better, American food or British food?
American food. Hell yeah.
Okay. So I guess that answers it. That's the end of that one.
Wait, hold on. You mean cultural food or you mean just in general, like as far as restaurants go?
Cultural and restaurants. How about both?
Cultural, American. Restaurants, it's a toss-up. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it depends on the city. So if it's like LA, if it's like New York or maybe Houston, then yeah, the food is really good in these cities. But in London, we've got some bomb, like incredible 5-star restaurants, upscale restaurants.
I've been to London a bunch, and the thing that I can't do it, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from the people over there.
Go for it.
The fish and chips. It's the worst thing ever. It's like
that is an abomination.
You want fish and chips?
You want fish and chips?
You want fish and chips?
Fish and chips. I love fish and chips.
No, I can't. It feels like cafeteria food to me.
How you guys say
it's good. Maybe it's where you're getting it from, like cod, like battered cod. You don't like battered cod?
Battered cod.
No, it's just the way it's prepared. There's no. How do I say this without being offensive? There's just no seasoning in it. It's
you put some salt
white.
and then maybe put a bit of vinegar.
White people, man.
I thought you were going to say it's white fish.
Nah, man, ain't got no seasoning, man. Ain't got no seasoning,
ketchup,
man.
You know, like,
they dip it in mayonnaise.
I mean, I love fish and chips, but I feel like, it's just like bangers and mash or...
Bangers and mash
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Bad, but it's
full English, but I don't mind without baked beans. I don't like baked beans.
Right.
Have you had some down in Atlanta? Baked beans?
I do. So, okay, let me rephrase. I don't like British baked beans, but I love the American ones. You know the barbecued ones?
Oh, yeah.
The bacon bits?
Yeah. Okay.
See, like
Southern food is lit.
The bangers and mash, like you got like shepherd's pie with the Irish shepherd's pie.
Not really a big shepherd's pie.
That's their stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's all right compared. You're talking about cultural food. You're talking about Indian, African. When the brown folks come around, that's when it gets fire.
And there's a lot of cultural food in London.
Yeah, there's a lot of immigrants.
Okay,
so Indian food is incredible in London.
Yeah.
You live in two of the biggest. You've lived in two of the biggest fashion capitals: New York, London.
Lagos.
Who's got a bet? Oh, and Lagos. I'm sorry, and Lagos.
First of all,
hold on.
They might as well be number one right now.
Yeah.
We are killing it.
Okay, so I gotta ask you this. Whose swag is better? Fashion swag is better. You got London, New York, or Lagos?
Go. No, you can't.
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot.
All right, let me think. This is tricky. This is tricky because Lagos fashion is.
They gonna come for you now. Be careful.
The fashion show is the baddest thing I've ever seen.
I'm gonna say London, and why I'm gonna say London is because that's where I got my style from. And I feel like British style is just so unique. And I feel like a lot of cultures are influenced. Ooh, Americans might come for me for this one.
Hey, look,
Anyway,
I think New York.
No, but I agree. So it's tricky. That's why I said like New York and London are very similar to me, you know, for different reasons, for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
But I feel like fashion as well, they're very similar. Like stuff that you would wear in New York, you can easily wear in London.
No doubt.
Do you know what I mean?
Facts.
So I feel like it's really hard for me to say. If I'm honest, because obviously I was born and raised in London and that's what influenced my style, I'm just going to say London for that reason. But then as far as like Nigeria goes, oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Now that's what influenced my adult fashion. You know what I mean? Because I mean, obviously being in the public eye in Nigeria, I'm wearing designers all the time. I'm wearing haute couture. I'm wearing all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So as far as like some of the best designers that I've ever worked with, they're definitely in Nigeria. Let me just put it like that. Now, let me say New York. Fashion here, just like I said, reminds me of London fashion. There's a lot of similarities and I feel like New York fashion is incredible. Now, if you're saying American fashion as a whole, like come on, no.
Specifically.
You know?
New York.
I will say this is the only time because I always we go back and forth. He's an East Coast guy, I'm a West Coast guy.
Yeah.
The only time I ever get jealous of folks from New York is the style. Because it's like there's so many different layers.
Yes.
And LA is so hot. Like even like right now, I'm like, I don't want to. You got to put on the jacket, then you do the scarf, and then you got the undershirt, but it looks so dope when you look at it because there's layers. You can't wear those layers in LA. So
I love the layers in New York.
And my favorite season is fall. So I like when I can put my jacket and my boots on. I like when I layer. I have a dope hoodie with the cold. That's why the cold, I go, are you kidding me? You know the boots I just bought? You know the jacket I'm about to wear?
Yeah.
The levels of jackets?
And that's what I love. That's really, really what I love about, like
and that's what I love about London too.
That's what I love about New York.
Because they'd be like, the weather is shit. Oh, great. And I used to go to London. I used to go on Tottenham Court Road. I would go to the...
I didn't even, do you know what? When you said, I was like, where did... Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Yeah, I was like, where is...
I would go there. They'd be like, yes, Tottenham
Get
Court
him, get him.
No. I haven't been there in so long. I was like, Tottenham Court Road, Tottenham? Is it Tottenham?
Tottenham, yeah.
Tottenham.
So I would go...
Tottenham, come on, man.
There you go. Let them do it. Go on, do it.
The E-N-H are silent.
Right, it's Tottenham.
It's Tottenham.
Wait, Tottenham.
Tottenham.
So E-N-H.
Because they'd be like, Tottenham Court Road. Because I would go to the vintage places. I would
vintage is good over there.
Some dope. It's just like New York. You go get some good vintage. So there's a lot of similarities. Leather jackets, London, it's about the leather jackets, the hoodies, the fresh.
Exactly.
LA is about bikinis and Ugg boots.
LA fashion's all right, but
They're
nothing
the
like
worst.
New York. Nothing like New York.
It's different. It's different. Whose swag though is better? Like there's
New York
wearing it, and then there's the swag.
Between the three cities?
Yeah, between Lagos, London, and New York.
So I feel like it's more consistent in New York. Let me put it like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like there's more people who are stylists in New York in comparison to Lagos, where it's a bubble.
Yeah. I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna push back. Ooh. I'm gonna go Lagos.
Because it's a bubble though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a bubble. Whereas here, every other person could be stylish. You could literally be on the train and see like 3 or 4 people that are super stylish. In Lagos, you got to be at an event. You got to be.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But because when they show up, they show up.
Yeah.
I will say that the Nigerian fashion shows, the dresses,
incredible.
Listen, and there's a lot of online they got these critics that those dudes that do the critics. Oh, I love this. I like this. I hate this. The Nigerian fashion show, all those critics were like, I have never seen these dresses like this before. Imitating different types of trees.
Avant-garde,
the dresses blow out all of them. So I'm afraid that a lot of these designers are going to try to steal that. So we got to make sure that they patent.
Put the look to it.
Stealing it and
putting. Well, we know what we got to do. We got to start getting the names. Like putting the cultural names on top of it.
No doubt.
I think about like, for example, fitness, right? Like in fitness, there's the Russian twist, right?
Like, there's a Bulgarian
Bulgarian,
and
it's like, this is very Euro, right? Like to be able to get some of those looks and have the names associated.
We need to have that. It's important.
It's a really good point. Yeah. All right, let's talk education because I think everyone in the U.S. will probably agree with me when you hear a British accent, it just sounds like, gosh, like, I don't know if they've read before, if they're really smart.
A PhD. But even if you've never read, you sound like you've read.
Right.
It's funny because, I posted something recently and I got some pushback from a certain demographic, you know what I mean? And then someone was like, oh, just because she has a posh accent, automatically blah, 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 blah. And I thought to myself, first and foremost, I just have a British accent. It doesn't automatically mean it's posh. You know what I mean? It's just an accent.
Right.
But then the thing is, once you have a British accent, automatically people expect that, you know, it's posher or it's more
Better.
intelligent. It's
Yes,
more, yeah,
of
it's
course.
just better.
But if you call yourself
I love
English,
it. I mean,
if you say you're English, you win.
the privileges of having an American accent, sorry, a British accent in New York, for example.
It's amazing.
That's perfect.
They look at you as a little different. Because
Yeah.
it's better than like, hey, can I get a and you're like this, hello, can I have different kind of black. This black doesn't scare me as much. This black, because let's say I'm as big as this guy,
Yeah.
and he goes, yeah, I'd like a cheeseburger, and I'm like, hello, I'd like a cheeseburger. Oh, I
Yeah.
like that bigger black guy.
Oh, I use it.
He's a little more.
It works.
Do you use
I
it?
mean,
How do you? Okay. Be honest now. Like,
Okay.
give us the end. Give us the
What?
tea here.
Yeah.
How do you use it to your advantage? Because like, for example, I use my size sometimes as an advantage to be able to do certain
That's what I'm
things.
saying. Like when I met him, I was like, "Wait, you're taller than I thought you would be."
No,
He's like,
he
tall.
big.
Yeah.
He ain't no joke.
Yeah.
So how have you used your accent to get you into places?
I mean, I'm kidding. I don't know. Okay, let me think. It could just be something as simple as the train station, you know, because in New York, nobody likes to stop for anybody.
Hell no.
Like, you stop me, it's like, you know, they just hate being stopped. So for me, it's like, oh, hi, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I just instantly they're stopping and they're ready to help. And I heard you only get one shot. Ask a question. I get 2 or 3. You know what I mean?
You get 2 or 3
So I know in New York, I heard you only get one shot. Ask a question, that's it. But me, I'm just like, oh yeah, and then they give me the help. I'm like, okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. Did you say go that way?
I'm so sorry.
You know what I mean?
Hey, have you ever used it to get in a club? Like, excuse me, I should be on the list.
So I don't even go clubbing, first and foremost.
Okay.
But yes, to events. If I'm if my name for whatever reason is supposed to be there, and instead of calling my management to stress me to handle it, I'm literally like, look, it's supposed to be there. Like, this is what they told me. Can you please sort it out? I mean, I wouldn't
Sort
just.
it out.
You ever go, that's preposterous. I'm supposed to be inside now.
No,
Do you know who I am?
That is
I'm
so-
the Duchess
First
of
all, If I use that, I'm not getting into anywhere.
You were like
I'll tell
this,
that
do you
for
know
free.
I'm the Duchess of Edinburgh?
I'm not getting into anywhere.
But you missed it
there
though.
are benefits.
But
There
you
are
missed it though,
benefits.
because I used to be a bouncer. I would have let you in because you said one thing that goes, oh, this is different. She goes, oh, they'll sort it out.
Just sort it out.
I said,
You know
no
what I
one
mean?
says that in the
But you know
States.
what? No
one says that in the
no
States.
one. Guess my man
It
is
works, though.
when
It
I did
actually works. Yeah,
I
just
did
sort it
Leicester
out.
Square Theater last year, and there's a bouncer, big dude. He's a British guy, black dude, and he goes, "Yeah, it was a guy making noise in the back, and I had to sort him out. I had to sort him out. He whooped his ass.
Yeah, right.
That was the coldest." He goes like, "No, I had to sort him out." I was like, "You had to sort him out." So that
That's
he mean
funny.
he beat him up. He was like, "I had to sort him out."
I love
say,
it.
"Yo."
You know, just keep it chill.
I had to
But then,
dismantle
and
him.
literally with a straight face, by the way, no expression, just
No.
straight face.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Sort him
So
out.
whose
Yeah.
school is better, American school or schools in the UK?
I think,
UK.
yeah, I feel like the UK has a better educational
dumb.
system. You know what I mean? Or education.
dumb.
Why is that? What do you see is the difference? What's the biggest difference?
Our president. Next.
Well, it predates the president.
No, I'm just saying our choices of government.
I don't know. I feel like maybe just the variety. You know what I mean? You're learning history. You're learning English. Well, then again, I'm not too familiar with what you guys are learning here. But you know,
Oh, yeah, okay. And to be fair, because you haven't been school, you weren't
Let me
schooled
tell
here.
you
yeah,
something.
Yeah, you weren't schooled here. Yeah.
we're also learning different languages. You know, like I understand or speak a little bit, not as much as I used to, but speak a bit of Spanish because, you know, that's one of the things we had to learn. You know, you get a choice between Spanish, French and German, and you pick the one you want to learn.
gonna test you.
So yeah,
Ready?
so I knew that was coming.
hablas
Look, my
espa-
Spanish is rusty.
¿Tú hablas español?
Hablo poco español.
Poquito.
Poquito, there we go. You
Poquito.
see?
Yo hablo español un poquito.
Hablo poquito español.
You say, yo
No, es-
hablo
hablo
un poquito. Español
un
un
Now you
poquito.
teaching Spanish? This is-
Okay, wait, hold on. Me llamo Beverly.
Me amo es Beverly, right?
Oh my God, you know what? Yeah, you are not going to embarrass me. 'Cause I promise you, my Spanish is...
Silencio!
Wait, hold on. Me llamo es Beverly.
Sí.
Vivo en
Vivo en Nueva York.
Nueva York.
Sí.
Woo!
Silencio.
I've gone blank.
Cállate la boca. Sí, mucho
But yeah, I used
mucho
to speak,
gusto,
but
Beverly.
honestly, I used to speak really good Spanish when I was a teenager, and my plan after graduation was to move to Spain so I could literally learn the language in its entirety. But then my career took over and I ended up in Lagos.
Then I became successful. I didn't become a loser.
And don't worry.
Then I just got really rich and powerful, and that kind of threw things off.
I took 4 years of Spanish in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't remember anything? No, but do you know what's funny? Because I can get by in a Spanish-speaking country. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think right now I'm just overthinking it. But if I'm in like Cuba or Spain or whatever, I can actually get by.
How do you get by? Go, no.
Speaking broken Spanish because you just
Sí.
expose that it's not as good as it used to be.
No sé. Ayúdame.
No, ¿dónde está, you know?
¿Dónde está she? Oh,
Yeah, you named the
I
place.
studied Spanish in high school and college.
Yeah.
I had advanced Spanish, and I got pretty good at it. Especially in college, I got good. Because they would say, no English in la clase, solamente español. No inglés, okay? And we're
Right.
like, okay, if you have something to ask, you say, ¿cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? So all we did was go, ¿cómo se dice? ¿Cómo
Yeah,
se dice?
yeah, yeah.
¿Cómo se dice?
That was it. Como se
I
dice
don't know
everything.
nothing. ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice?
Yeah, that's funny. I feel like, you know, it's decent. The educational system here is good. And the UK, I think, is a bit more consistent across schools and universities.
You know, one of the things, like for me, which is very tricky because, you know, I have 4 kids and
Really?
I've
Oh,
sent
wow.
my oldest, he's completed college now.
Okay.
But it was expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Very expensive. If you're in London and you're going to a local university there, it doesn't cost the same that it costs in the States. Like I spent close to $250,000 to send my son to school.
Insanity.
And we're not talking about
Not an international student?
No.
No.
That's
Local.
wild.
Yeah, this is local. Like,
Wow.
and this is to a school, you know,
What school?
up in Oregon.
200.
That's crazy.
Yeah, with
That's
everything,
president's salary.
with his dorms, with
Wait,
everything.
just 1 year or the whole?
No, the whole time, the 4 years. And I'm just
Still
thinking,
a
you start
gang of
thinking
loot.
about that,
It's a
you're
lot.
going, like, that's insane. But I find it in other countries that it's not the same level
Yeah.
of expenses, and it makes it cost prohibitive in the States. That's why you got a lot of kids like trying to get into all these different things, hoping to get a scholarship. We'll talk about the university system in London and the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I went to uni, it was like £3,000. You know what I mean? I think for all 3 years.
That's amazing.
That's it. But I know it's gone up significantly since then. Significantly. 'Cause
But nothing compared
I've got aunts
to-
complaining all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing compared to this. Nothing.
Yeah,
You're
it's
never going to
horrible.
hear $250,000.
It's like a scam almost.
Yeah. It does sound a bit scammy, to be honest. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And the thing here in the States is if you live local, like living in Los Angeles, it'd be a lot harder for my son to get into like a UCLA
Really?
or a school that I went to, San Diego State. But if he goes out of state, then it's a lot easier because you have to pay the out of state tuition fee. So the out of state tuition fee is more expensive. The local is a lot less than that, but they have this system where you've got to have like a 4.9 or 5.10, something crazy in order to make it to the local school. And I just thought, man, it would be so cool if my son and my kids that are coming up, if they went to school overseas,
Right.
because
It might even be
costs-
cheaper, yeah.
far less.
Because I mean, I know like international students do pay more, but I'm sure they're not paying anything close to this amount, for sure.
What about
And there's some
acting
good
schools? What do you think are
universities.
better?
Acting schools?
Because you guys have the Royal
Yeah, we have
Academy.
some of the best acting schools in the
You
world.
have the best. Yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah.
New York, I know, has pretty good acting.
Yeah, Juilliard, I think.
Yeah, you got Juilliard. You got
Yeah.
the Viola Davises and the Robin who come from Juilliard.
Yeah.
I had great acting teachers here. So what do you think? What makes because it seems like the British got an edge when it comes to acting because you guys
Yeah.
can transform into.
So that's
anything.
the thing. Like in the UK, you're trained differently. You know what I mean? You're trained on Macbeth and Shakespeare and stuff like that. And the theory is if you can master Shakespeare, you can master anything.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Why is that?
Because Shakespeare is really, really abstract. You know, a lot of the writing you really have to fully study it to understand the characters and who you're becoming. You know, so it requires a lot. You know,
Did you do Shakespeare?
so I mean, I left. So I graduated. I studied filmmaking. You know what I mean? In university, I did study acting as an A-level. So what my plan was originally was to graduate, go to Spain for a year, and then go back to London and just kill it, training full time and blah, blah, blah. So if I did that, I would have definitely had the opportunity to really explore Shakespeare. I explored it a little bit, but not a lot.
Because that stuff, sometimes I'll be watching Shakespeare and go, I didn't know what the hell he just said.
Honestly,
Thou must understand that
That's
thy
the
is
thing.
within thy.
Yeah, so that's the
To
thing.
be or not to be.
So imagine mastering Shakespeare and then you just get a regular script. It's like,
It's nothing.
you know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah.
I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I want to dig into your childhood. I want to dig into kind of, how you got to where you are growing up. What was that like growing up for you?
I'm an only child, so it was...
Yeah.
Spoiled.
No, that's like,
Spoiled.
why is that the deep? Why does everyone say that? You know what I mean?
Did you talk to yourself a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that like growing up? I mean, as a
You are ready for this business. You crazy as hell. And you ready for New York too. You like, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
I had my Barbies. They had names. They were like, yeah. We were playing Happy Families, all sorts. I also had my Super Nintendo.
All right.
Killer Instincts. I don't know if you guys know that game from back in the day.
Instinct.
Killer Instincts. It was a Nintendo game that was like literally incredible. Then I had Mario Kart.
You know what's funny?
Mario Kart. Of course, I know
You
Mario
have a
Kart.
lot of more toys than most people because you didn't have to share.
All right.
We get it. You got
yeah, I
everything.
didn't have to. I had
Somebody's jealous.
someone's production.
So you grew up Nigerian parents.
Yes.
How was that being an only child? And because typically in Nigerian families, there are a lot of kids. I grew up with 7. So there's 7 of us total. What was that like for you growing up? Only child in a Nigerian household.
I feel like, I did want siblings, but they just never came. They never came. But I do have a lot of cousins. So, on some weekends, I'd go spend time with them or they'd come to mine. So that actually made it a lot more enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
But then I think most importantly, I had my toys. So yeah, my Barbies definitely kept me company. And I was a tomboy as a kid. So I was always on my Nintendo, So I always had a good time. And yeah, I just felt like, I did want siblings, but they never came, so I just adjusted.
Yeah.
But I always say that when I have kids, I never want to have just one child because I definitely would have preferred to have more children because I feel like it definitely impacts and influences how you grow up and how you view life.
How do you think that impacted you?
I'm introverted. I can be quite introverted. Although if I am comfortable, I'm definitely the loudest in the room. But if I'm not, you're not going to get that side of me ever. I'm also very independent. That's because I had to learn independence quickly as a kid. You know what I mean? And I feel like, that it causes that problem. I would also say that I can be a bit socially awkward in certain rooms. You know what I mean? Like if I'm just in a room that's like, an event or whatever, it could be a bit intimidating for me sometimes. Yeah, because I'm just like used to being in my own space. Yeah. But I'm kind of outgrowing that basically in a nutshell.
You ever, if you're in an event and you feel weird, do you ever pull out your Barbie?
That is actually unhinged.
Deal with this
If
the way we do it. That is ready to go.
If we are ever at an event together and you see me pull out a Barbie,
I'll be like, leave her alone. Leave her alone. She's trying to adjust.
Just know I've lost my mind. Just know I spent too much time in LA. And I'm starting to lose my mind.
She's like this. I hate LA. Let's get out of here. New York was better. Yay!
Just know I'm losing my mind. Too much time in LA.
Oh my goodness. You said she gonna blame LA, throw LA up.
He's like this. Oh no.
Yeah.
So Nigerian parents can put a lot of pressure, especially on kids on their future.
Right.
I'm sure you've got a lot of the customary doctor, lawyer, engineer.
I actually didn't. Yeah, and I'm so grateful for that. Like,
what did your parents push on you then?
So the thing is, it was very obvious early on that I was a creative. You know what I mean? So it was important that I at least had a backup plan. Yeah. So it was like, I wanted to go to RADA, which is one of the best acting schools or film schools in the UK. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to RADA, yeah. Actually, I wanted to go to Brits initially.
Okay.
I didn't fill out the application form. That's a story for another day. I regret that till this moment. I was too lazy. So yeah, I wanted to go to RADA, but then,
Spell that.
They were like RADA.
Okay, RADA.
Yeah, Royal Arts Dramatic Academy.
Royal Arts and Dramatic.
Can't even remember something like that. I can't even remember anymore. Damn.
Something.
Right,
Something
royal. It's literally RADA. Okay. But then, so the plan was to do that, but then I guess family got worried and they're like, if you go down that path and it doesn't work out, you're about to be a bum on the streets. That's basically it. So have a backup plan. If you're not, let's reach a middle ground. If you're not going to study, something more, like a lawyer or whatever, at least have a backup plan and study filmmaking. So at least if acting doesn't work out, you can fall back on your film career as a director, as a producer, as a screenwriter, in the same space. So that's exactly what I did. And funny enough, like I'm semi-retired from acting, and that's really what I'm focusing on right now. Filmmaking, you know what I mean? That's really where my passion lies. I have a degree in filmmaking and script writing. So that's really what's exciting me right now.
So you're ready to Scorsese it now. All right.
It actually made sense. I'm glad I actually went with that, to be honest.
Cool. You've had such an illustrious acting career. How did that start for you? What was that first like, oh man, this is going to take off? There's doing it, studying it, and then there's the aha. And I think everyone gets that in their career at some point where you go, wait, I've got something here. When was that for you? And when did you know, like, I'm going full throttle now?
I was 17.
17?
I was 17 years old, and we were literally, I think it was a stage play that we were working on in school. And I was the first student in my school, in my sixth form, because sixth form is what you guys call...
Sixth form? Secondary school?
Sixth form is like literally the in-between before university. So it's like, is there a 13th grade over here?
No, we have 12th grade.
You either have, you have 12th grade, you either go to junior college, which is a couple of years, or you can go to, what's that extended high schools that they have here in the...
Your charter school?
Prep school, like a prep school.
Prep school.
You have like a prep school, which is kind of like a 13th grade. They have it mostly in the East Coast.
So basically it was like a 13th grade.
Okay.
So you do the 12th, so it's year 11, year 12, year 13. So yeah, sixth form is 12th and 13th. Yeah, so I don't know how to explain this. Basically, when you do your A-levels.
13th, 13th grade.
High schoolish.
Yeah, so you do your A-levels right before you go to uni.
Yeah.
So I was the first student in my sixth form to get a full mark distinction in 8 years for my performance.
This is the full mark distinction.
Yeah, full mark distinction. So prior to that, I had no acting experience. I just literally fell in love with it. And I was like, okay, let's try this.
Well, you act, I'm telling you, you buy them dolls. You've already been doing scenes. I'm telling you, you're crazy. You're like this. Why are you so good? Let me tell you.
but you said, because your parents kind of identified early that you were creative. And so, so that was always within you.
It was always within me. But then, I remember literally doing that stage play, and my mum was in attendance, and that was her first time seeing me act, because prior to that, I had no acting experience.
Right.
I literally caught a glimpse of her whilst I was in the middle of my performance, and she was teary-eyed.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what I mean? Yeah.
Wow.
And then after the performance, she grabbed me, she's like, this is it. This is what you're supposed to do. And I was like, yeah, I really feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. This feels natural to me. You know what I mean? I feel like this is what I want to do. And then, so I think, after that, I graduated from university, and, my mum literally was like, look, you're either gonna try and make it work in the UK.
Be a bum in the street.
Right, exactly. Try and make it work in the UK, or at that point she had moved to Nigeria, so like she started making contacts with me. So I literally started working in Nigeria as an actor before I even graduated. From university in London, you know what I mean? Because mum had already built some contacts. So I was flying back to Nigeria to work and then going back to school, So by the time I graduated, I'd already built something in Nigeria. So it just felt like a natural progression to just move to Nigeria,
Did you grow up watching like the Nigerian film? Because I remember like my mom, she would have a collection
100%.
of the tapes. They all look like bootleg tapes too, because they had like the covers were always like faded.
VCDs,
and the VHS. I mean, I'm literally hundreds. And she popped that thing in, and she would just be sitting in front of it. And I never really understood what was going on. It just seemed like it was a lot of drama. It was just like, and then this person did this, and like, hey!
But Nigerian acting.
I love them though.
That was the beginning of Nigerian acting.
Yeah.
Because it's like watching my relatives argue. I was like, it's like, what? Because you're used to this.
And it pulls you in. It pulls you in.
You're used to this other kind of acting, the American acting. Right. Whether it's the old school, I love you.
So that was part of the culture shock for me, by the way.
What was?
What he just described.
Really?
American acting, because American acting obviously has like a very different approach. It's very rooted in well, I mean,
Well, there was a style.
Yeah.
There was a style.
Yeah.
So there's Meisner, Stanislavski.
oh my gosh, yeah, for
We
sure.
have Stanislavski, Strasberg.
I was a Stanislavski
We have
girl.
Stella Adler. So there was that, like James Cagney and Marlene Dietrich. And my mother was a big old school movie person. So they would be like, exaggerating. You know, I love you. I told you. Went from James Stewart to all those people. Then
Love James
Marlon Brando came in
Yeah.
and changed acting
Right.
with
Godfather?
no, with Streetcar Named Desire, because he was grounded.
Right.
He was just like, yeah, what's your name? Oh, okay. He was just, it was not that, this stuff.
Yeah, the theatrical
And
stuff,
he
yeah.
made it, he grounded, he changed acting to where it's normal. It's like, let's just be normal.
I didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
that's
And
the
the
American.
accents changed as well.
The accent changed because it used to
Yeah,
be
'cause-
almost a British
Yeah, it's
accent.
influenced by the
when you look at
British
some of the
accent.
older-
Yeah,
I
yeah,
told you
yeah.
the other day, and
Yeah.
they're not even British. They're just
No.
talking
But
like
it had that
That was
tonal.
the standard accent back then, though.
Yes, it was. So
Yeah.
Marlon Brando literally changed the game going, what's your name? Your name Blanche? Oh, okay. He was just
Right.
grounded, regular guy.
Right.
And that acting went, we're going to start doing it that way.
So what was your initial response when you first kind of got introduced to that? Because I'd imagine even being in the UK, you know, I'm 17, there was a massive Western influence of the movies and our movies being shown a lot.
Not in the UK. Yeah, it's definitely shown in the UK, but the UK is never influenced by that though. They stick to realism. You know what I mean? So they love things to feel grimy and, you know, just culturally rich as far as UK is concerned. So the color grading is very different. They don't care about the American dream thing. They don't want to see that in their films in the UK. You know what I mean? It's as close to British reality as possible, you know?
Go ahead.
Yeah, including the acting as well, you know?
I always noticed in a lot of the British, because we grew up watching, my parents being British educated, we watched a lot of British shows. It was
Yeah.
Upstairs, Downstairs. It was Masterpiece Theater. It was all, and I know Ab Fab and all those comedy. And America got a lot of their sitcoms from London. We had a very famous sitcom called All in the Family.
Oh.
Very
Yeah,
famous.
yeah,
That's from Till Death Do We Part, British.
Okay.
Three's Company is from Man in the House, British.
Right.
Sanford and Son is from Steptoe and Son, 1961.
Okay.
That's British. The Office. That's Ricky Gervais. The British one I like the most.
Yeah.
We've adapted so much British because the acting is so grounded.
Right.
From Benny Hill, we did Benny Hill. We watched Benny Hill, and also Desmond. You ever heard of
Desmond, legend.
Desmond.
I grew up on Desmond.
I discovered Desmond in like high school because we used to have the channels in Chicago would show just random like British stuff. So I see this Desmond, I go, what? Because I know in Britain there's a problem with a lot of diversity is not there in Britain. That's why a lot of British
Even
people, today, that's why a lot of British people come here for work because it's really sad because the fact that you talk about like the Windrush, where all the Jamaicans, all the black immigrants came in London, the Windrush, and they barely show and represent the black experience in London on TV. It's so very white.
Yeah.
And so when I saw Desmond, I said, who's this Caribbean funny dude?
Yeah.
He owns a barbershop. So there's an African dude in it. They got white British, they got Caribbean, and it's about a barbershop and his family, and it's black. And I just got the new episodes again, and it's just see black people being funny and British.
Yeah, Desmond is so good.
Desmond.
Honestly,
Yeah, you gotta look
I
at
grew up
Desmond.
on that.
I definitely got to check that out. I got to ask you because you're talking about that. Like when the actors, there've been a lot of actors from the UK coming over here, and they become wildly successful. What do you think that's attributed to?
The talent.
The talent.
The talent's insane.
Are they trained differently?
They're
in
trained
the UK?
differently.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
What's the biggest difference in the success? Like somebody wants to be an actor, they go over to the UK. What is it that they're learning there that maybe is not as prominent or prevalent here in the US? I
don't know, because I feel like, so I've been to film school here. I went to NYFA. You guys know NYFA, surely. New York Film Academy.
Film Academy, yeah, sure.
I went there Anyway, I went there for like a course. And I feel like, they tend to train you for film, so camera, blah, 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 which is great. But in the UK, they train you across board. So you're doing stage, theatre, you're doing films, you're doing, you know, like there's just different ways and different techniques so that you're kind of like, you have like a vast catalogue of different ways to express yourself. And I feel like that also is beneficial in the future. Shakespeare is a big thing in the UK. Like I said, if they train you on Shakespeare in the UK and you understand, you master Shakespeare, there's really nothing else.
And you can master anything. And I even heard Denzel talk about that. Denzel said, you know, like, you know, there are a lot of actors who have dreams of going, you know, and they go off to acting schools, right? Or acting classes, excuse me. And he goes like, if you want to be an actor, you got to get out on that stage. He said something to that
stage is important.
Being on the stage changes everything.
Because theater and film are the same. It's just one is bigger than the other. Because all acting teachers will tell you, when I was studying acting in LA, Beverly Hills Playhouse, intense acting. One of my teachers was Richard Lawson, who was once married to Beyonce's mom. The guy that was married to Beyonce's mom. That was my teacher. Intense acting. And we would watch film. We would watch different films. And the guy would go, it's all the same. All of these people you're watching on film are all theater people. You got to just downsize it because the camera catches everything.
Exactly.
You can't cheat the camera.
Exactly.
And acting is more projection. But once you get to film, it's like, you don't have to do... I have this real famous video that I bought, a DVD of Michael Caine Teaches Acting. Have you seen that one?
No.
Michael Caine, it's from the 80s. Every person has to have the Michael Caine Teaches Acting. And he talks about the subtleties from a close-up to a wide shot and how to act. It's phenomenal. Michael Caine.
Do you study acting the same way? Like when you're studying like the different actors, and like, do you pick up those different things and you add it to your repertoire? And then who's your favorite UK actor?
Which one do I answer first?
The first one. You can go ahead.
I would say yes. When I was in the UK, yes, it was. I lived it. I breathed it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then when I moved to Nigeria, I just stopped training as much. You know, and I feel like, you know, there's effects of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But as far as my favorite British actor, Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel.
I love him. I think he's so incredible. I love his range. I love his expressions. His eyes are incredibly expressive. And he kills the heck out of an American accent, you know?
He really does.
Like, it's hard to convince me otherwise.
Do you have an American accent?
I can't speak with, I can literally joke with one. Remember I said that earlier? Yeah. I do it as banter, which is why my accent's all over the place sometimes. But then to literally get me to speak with an American accent, it's not going to sound convincing.
Okay, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
What do you want me to say? I don't know.
There it is. All right, because when we do British accents, right? People, hold on.
Ears.
Yeah, it hurts your ears because Dick Van Dyke didn't help it. Because they would say, you're Dick Van Dyking our accent. Because when you watch Mary Poppins, he's like, hello, Mary Poppins. You ready to die? And it was pretty bad.
Right.
It was pretty bad.
Right.
But here's how I use it. When I was in, I had
sorry. You said top. What was that?
He couldn't say top.
No, I forgot the name of the street. That's all it was.
Please.
But I know road. Top the coat road.
Not road. The emphasis on the D is too much.
No, but here's the thing.
Get him. Get him.
British people do that to us, but when you do our accent, we go, "Oh, that's great. We don't have to so hard on you." I you know how I know? Because I asked, there was these guys from Birmingham, right?
Birmingham.
I know it's Birmingham.
Yeah.
I know that.
Birmingham.
I said, all right, relax. He's like, Birmingham, sit up. Birmingham. Shut up. It's like this, Birmingham.
I just be digging at him.
It's Birmingham.
Birmingham,
It's Birmingham. Now listen.
Yeah.
So after my show, I was outside of here. They were like, oh, we're from Birmingham. And then I just did a British accent. I didn't say I'm going to try one. They believed me. I said, they're just haters. Because I was like this. Birmingham. I said, I'm from Bristol. They're like, you're from Bristol? I said, yeah, right up there. And they believed me.
No, I promise you they didn't. Let me tell you.
Okay, I want to hear. Let me hear.
Look, British people are nice. You know what I mean?
No, they're not.
Wait, let me explain. No, look. New Yorkers are kind. British people are nice. You see what I'm trying to, you see where I'm going now?
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So they're not literally going to say to you in your face, what the F is that accent? You know what I mean? They're not going to do that. But what they're going to do is as soon as you walk away, they're laughing at you. I promise you they're laughing.
You know why? Because they didn't see me perform. They were just on the street.
Right.
So I just
No, I'm not saying they don't know you. That's literally all the more reason. They don't know you. You're walking away and they're like, what was that accent?
I have a pretty good, decent British accent. And I was like.
So that means when I've done that in the UK, and there's this thing that happens. When you go to the,
we know, like,
when you go,
know.
Whenever I go to the UK, there's this thing that happens. I just start mimicking, right? And it just was like, excuse me, you have a toast and butter?
Oh, hell no. I'm sorry, that's worse than Johnson's accent.
Toast and butter?
That's worse.
Toast and butter?
That's what we would have said. I'm sorry.
Okay. So what? So tell me what they would have been saying behind my back if I go, can I have some toast and butter?
What the accent?
Because you sound like him. Like, can I have some toast and butter?
So I would literally be like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. Then it's like, what the That's basically it.
This whole time I thought they were feeling me like.
So we're not even close.
No.
Nothing's close. Like I'm not even close. If I say Birmingham, that's not even close.
That's good. That was actually really good. Yeah. It's when you initially said
your turn.
Birmingham.
No, do yours.
You said Birmingham.
Watch him go Birmingham.
Birmingham is crazy.
I said Birmingham.
Yeah, that's cool. I would literally be convinced if you said that to me.
Birmingham. That's what I said. Yeah,
but
Birmingham.
then everything you said after that was.
If I said Essex.
Say that again.
If I said Bristol.
Bristol was cool. That's
what I'm
convincing.
saying. I told the guy, I said,
He's just saying like just choppy words though now.
No, because there's a balance. You don't have to go all the way out. I said Bristol. I said I'm from Bristol. And they were like, oh, you're from Bristol.
Wait, say the first part.
Bristol.
No, what you said before that.
Bristol.
No, I'm from.
I shouldn't say I'm from. What is that? No.
That sounds American.
What do I say?
I'm from Bristol. I'm from Bristol.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't even say I'm from Bristol.
I just was lying. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're very Americanized, man.
Yours is the worst.
So is that all you said? Literally just that one sentence?
I'm from Bristol. And they were like, oh, you're from Bristol. I was like, yeah. They believed me because I didn't overdo it. So I try in my head, don't go crazy. Just kind of ground it.
So after they said, oh, you're from Bristol, what did you say after that?
I said, I'm just bull. I was like, dude. They were like, yeah, it was spot on. They said spot on. That's what they said. My accent is spot on. And I said, I'm just saying. I tested.
No. That was good.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying
you don't say the T's.
Just being nice. That's
no, you don't say the T's. Spot on.
It depends on your accent. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, of course, if you have like a standard English accent or what they call the Queen's English accent, yeah, of course, you're going to say all your T's, every single one of them.
And what about like if you're?
Yeah, I used to struggle with my T's.
But I like
you didn't say it. But so
I didn't say any.
I like Cockney.
But you just got on me when I said butter.
Because you said butter.
I took out the T's.
Yeah.
Butter.
Water.
Just said the
No,
same
you go like
thing.
this. You go
butter. Like
it's like you're
butter.
Butter.
That's how you're supposed to say it. Butter.
But that's
say butter. Say butter.
The American way? Butter.
See? You say butter. See how we're like
saying it the British way.
Butter. Well, no, it depends. Butter. I say butter.
Butter.
But then when I was a teenager, I said butter because,
Yeah, it's there's the Cockney thing too.
/ Black
because I did Jason Statham for Jason Statham in front of him on a radio show.
Nice.
Look
at that LA thing he just did.
No,
right. I'm sorry. So who?
I didn't say JS.
Oh, no.
I said Jason Statham.
Yeah, you did.
That's Jason's name. There you go. All right.
Dropped a name.
I want to move to. I want to move to Nollywood.
Okay.
Nollywood is massive, and it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. You were talking earlier about kind of growing up and watching some of the same Nigerian movies and films that I grew up watching. And the cultural shock, when did you know that you were going to go into Nollywood?
I think once I started working there, so like I said, whilst I was still in uni, like half term, summer breaks, as they say in America, because we call it full term, whatever. Yeah. But no, I was literally flying back to work. So I knew that the natural progression was going to be Lagos and Nollywood, you know what I mean? So I knew it was going to happen. So I feel like, that was basically it. It wasn't in my plan as a 17, 18, even 19-year-old. It literally became part of my trajectory once I hit 2021.
How did you, because it is so physical when you think about Nollywood and just, everything is kind of heightened in the animation.
I agree.
Like, how did you make that adjustment going from what you kind of like were introduced to and then coming into Nollywood? You've seen it before, but how did you make that adjustment going, this is how I'm going to take on?
I mean, great question. I feel like, when I just moved, that's part of the culture shock I was talking about earlier. Okay. Because British acting is very, very minimal and natural. You know what I mean? And in Nigeria, it's like,
Where are you going? I love you.
I mean, old Nollywood, like, of course, like some of the actors, I mean, most of the actors in old Nollywood are fantastic. But I mean, at that time that I was coming in, it was way different, you know, and there was a specific standard or quality of acting that was expected. And if you were doing anything below that, you were underacting or just bad acting.
In
Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Yeah. So that was really tough for me. Of course, like having a different type of training and trying to adjust to that. I just felt like I was losing myself as an actor, you know, at the beginning of my career because I was trying to match the energy of what I was, you know, of the actors that I was working with. And then I just felt like I was overacting at the time. But you know what you said about Marlon Brando and that change happening? That's what happened in Nollywood eventually. There's a shift that happened eventually where, you know, acting kind of like changed a bit and it became more grounded.
Yeah, because you do see the difference being, you look in the 80s, because I saw a lot of stuff from the 80s and the 90s. That was kind of my experience. And even some of the early 2000s, but I don't know when, and maybe you could help me with this. When did Nollywood become Nollywood? Because that was a name that kind of adapted and it just kind of grew. Because it wasn't Nollywood when I was in the 80s and 90s.
Because you have Bollywood.
I'm just saying, but when did Nollywood become?
Do you know what? I should know this, but I actually don't. You know, I've always known it as Nollywood.
Like the actual formation, because once Nollywood
of the name,
but then also too the shift that she's talking about, because once that shift happened in the Nigerian films, I think it became more appealing to the masses, right? And more people started to find.
Well, there's a documentary on the beginning.
Do we have that, CJ? Do you know that the Nollywood?
Oh yeah, there's a documentary I saw on Nollywood and the first directors and how they would shoot without permission. They would just go. We would just wait for the traffic to go. Then we shoot.
100%.
Okay, action. And then we wait. Then we shoot again. So it was guerrilla style shooting. That's even when I joined the industry, that's what I came. That's what I experienced. Yeah, they would shoot.
There's no getting a permit and shutting down the street.
No, there's none of that. Everything was managed. You understand? Like, oh, my friend has a house. Let's shoot there. Do you understand? Like,
just before he comes back from work.
Exactly.
We'll get in and out. Just kind of.
We only have here for 5 minutes. Learn your lines. Learn
your word.
So it was definitely a culture shock, I won't lie, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And because I'd already started to build something here, and I'm just a very determined person, I was like, well, I really like it here. I want to act. This is what I want to do. So this is where I am.
And you've been very, very good and successful at it. In 2016, you were the highest grossing Nigerian actress film ever at the time, earning about 400, almost 500,000 nairas. What was that like when you're just, there was this shift for you? What was that like?
That was a really powerful moment for my career. You know what I mean? Because it paid off at that point. I think it was actually my breakout film for sure. You know, prior to that, I'd done some work and whatever, but that one definitely put my name on the map as far as the industry is concerned. And but what it also did was, because the film was so highly successful, it also, a lot of people felt like, okay, if I'm going to cast her in a film, I want her to play that role. You know what I mean? There's also that part of the industry that's really exhausting. It's like, I want her to play this role. If she's not playing that role, then we're not casting her.
Oh, it's kind of like typecasting. Like
that typecasting
your success in this film means
we
that
want
you
to
had
replicate
to play that.
Exactly, So there was also that, you know? But it was definitely a humbling moment. I'm grateful for all the success I attained as a result of it. And I just feel like, I don't know.
What was your favorite movie that you did? What was your favorite for you? I mean,
that I've ever done?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I've done so many, I'd just be forgetting all my films.
You're pumping them out.
Wedding Party was a good one, though. I feel like it was such an enjoyable set. Cast and crew, everyone was amazing. And it was just refreshing. It was the first of its kind, you know what I mean? Prior to that, we didn't really have films on that level, on that scale, you know? So it was nice to be part of a production that was producing on that scale, you know? So I'd probably say Wedding Party was a good one. As far as like a film that I got to show range, I'd probably say a film called Insecure that I did sometime after COVID. I can't even remember when I did that film, but it was a really good film as well. Got to show a lot of range, versatility, and it was refreshing for that reason.
Was there a role that you've ever had that was more challenging? Like, wow, like this is working a different muscle for me?
Oh, 100%. That's Insecure.
That's Insecure.
Yeah. But there's a few like that, you know what I mean? But like not all of them have been released and some may never get released, and that's absolutely okay. So much time has passed, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Now, there's something that, as I was doing my, just like my research and just kind of really just fall in love with your story, I ran across this. And this is interesting, though. You may not say, afterwards, or at least you're going to have some explaining to do.
Criminal record.
So I read that they gave you the title of Nollywood for the characters you played. And this is for not for the person, for the characters you played. Did you like that title?
I hated that title.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you why. This film, I literally just said the film, that I was telling you about, the wedding party. I literally played the villain in that film. And as a result of that, it was like, oh, yeah, let's cast Beverly Naya for that same type of character, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So it kind of started to look like that's all I was playing. And that wasn't the truth. What the truth actually is that I was playing a variety of roles, but I'm just not in control of, one, what gets released, two, what does better than the others. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of these films just did really, really well. So it kind of looked like, oh, that's what she plays. But no, they're just more successful than the other types of films that I played that just didn't have that reach. You know what I mean? So yeah, there was also that. For example, Skinny Girl in Transit on YouTube. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Skinny Girl in Transit?
Yeah, that's a web series. And I played a character called Darren. And for quite a number of those seasons, she was the mean girl on that show, Yeah. So, of course, if it's a web series and it's getting like 1 million views per episode, people are going to automatically assume, oh, that's,
And it's hard because people see you in your work.
Yeah.
And the first time, and they can't separate it in the first time.
Oh, I can't stand people that do that.
That's how they either address you by that name or they treat you as if
100%.
Because they can't differentiate.
100%. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I literally can't stand people that do that.
Are there things you wouldn't do? Like, I know there's some people who say, hey, I won't do sex scenes. I'm not kissing.
Yeah.
I know there's some married people that go, I'm not kissing another woman. Coming from a Nigerian household, I know that there are a lot of, people don't know this a lot, but, there are a lot of conservative values in the Nigerian household.
Kind of like physical stuff.
Yeah.
Not a lot of PDA.
Right.
What are you doing? Like, you can't be putting yourself out there like
Not
that.
a lot of PDA in Nigerian films.
No.
There's a lot?
Oh, sure.
There's
there's a lot of scandal and cheating.
Nigerian parents don't do all that kissy stuff. I just know.
Our generation, though, we be kissing.
Okay. My
we
generation.
kissing. You talking about another generation.
Mine, they didn't do that a lot.
Right.
They hugged, they didn't do all
Yeah,
and that was some of the older ones.
That's the old school,
Yeah.
Do you have, like, you go, I'm not touching that, this is where I
You
draw
mean
the line?
in general?
In general, just as an actor, as an actress, is there something that you draw the line at?
I just feel like sex scenes are just so erotic. You know what I mean? I just feel like I don't need to be doing all that. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Get it. Close the door and know that they had sex the next day.
Yeah.
We have to.
Why do we have to be immersed in that moment?
How do you advocate for yourself? Because I know, like, you see something, and I've been on some closed sets where, that they have to go through this whole process, and I've often wondered, I've never been in this situation, but I'm like, man, that's gotta be uncomfortable.
It's awkward.
To where you're putting yourself in that.
It's disgusting, I think.
And, they put these in the film right there, and I go, is it compulsory, right? My parents used to always say, is it compulsory?
Yeah,
I try to impress you by saying compulsory. Is it compulsory to actually put yourself in that position? Do you write differently for that? Do you think about that when you're writing, like, for women or men who are in those scenes?
In my scripts?
Yeah.
I would be a hypocrite if I said that when I write, I don't mind writing them in. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it just adds to the story, and it takes it to a whole nother level. But then if I'm talking about myself, I just feel like if it doesn't add value to the script, if I feel like it's just there just because you want to see some boobs and some booty or whatever,
whack.
It's unnecessary. You know what I mean? But when I write it in my scripts, it's really because it's part of the story. There's a reason why it's there. I like when
but you don't need to show.
You don't need to show it.
Show the scene. You can show. Okay, they're going.
You know
to
how
the
we
bedroom.
do it in most black films. Like Brown Sugar and
Brown Sugar. I love Brown Sugar.
That's cute. You know what I mean?
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Or next day they're in
do way too much. I'm just like,
right. I think we know.
And
that
you know
they
when you
did
watch it with your parents,
Oh man!
It's like, parents, you close your eyes.
right, exactly.
even a
It's
kissing
so
scene, you're like,
awkward. So
Even a kissing
awkward.
scene,
And
you're
you're
like,
trying
all
to
right.
watch it because you're trying to not be awkward, but because if you don't watch, you look like, so what have you done? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why is this thing uncomfortable? Do you know what I mean? So you're like watching so you don't.
You know what?
Yeah.
Because I know you had a kissing scene that was so good that a lot of people actually thought that you and old boy was, I can't remember his name, but you guys were dating.
Oh, it happens. Yeah.
Did you tell your parents to close your eyes for that one?
Oh, it is. I mean, we ain't doing nothing crazy, so
Right.
yeah, they're used to it, so it's
They have
fine.
to see that. Like,
Is there an actor that's taught you so much on set that you go, man, that this one brought the best out of me, or I learned from either watching or just collaborating?
I love Genevieve, man.
Yeah.
I think Genevieve is not only an incredible actor, but I love her brand. I love the way she carries herself. She's mysterious and she's elegant. She's classy, you know? So I feel like I do admire that and I admire her. And I feel like it definitely is something that I hold on to as far as branding.
Okay, let's get into Nigerian food. We've had just a little bit of chin chin here. What kind of Nigerian food did you grow up on? Did you have your favorites? I want to know, because all of our stories are a little different in how we experience it. And I don't know what that's like, because you're the first British-born actress that we've had, or, guest that we've had on the show. And I'm like, wait, what's Nigerian food? Eating Nigerian food like in the UK? What was that
Same
experience
stuff.
like?
So great, nah.
no.
Okay.
Like, it's crazy because I get, this is a controversial answer I'm about to give, but I sometimes prefer Nigerian food in America to in Nigeria.
Well,
Wait, Nigerian food in America compared to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. And I'm not talking about like home cooked food. I'm talking about some restaurants.
Okay.
I feel like because we don't have as many Nigerian restaurants here, it's like they have to impress you.
That facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
So they go all
Because
out.
they need to make sure they're getting the customers and
Yeah, or
whatever.
'cause
So
if
the
they
food has to
screw
be
up,
good.
no
No one's
one's
going to go
coming.
back, and then your restaurant's going to close down.
Right.
So the standard just is a bit higher for that reason. So, I know what to expect if I'm getting, jollof rice and they also have variety. For example, oxtail stew. I don't know if you've had that. You don't get that in Nigeria. You don't get it in Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah, I've never had oxtail stew in Nigeria, But then there's certain things that you just can't get anywhere else. For example, what's it called again? Iwedu and begiri and amala.
Amala.
Yeah,
I love amala. That's my favorite.
That's it's called something else though.
Eba.
I mean, I love Eba. Eba is cool, but I'm a pounded yam girl.
Me too.
Yeah, I like
Inyo and
my name's
amala,
Gary.
those are my
favorites too.
Gary is my favorite.
Gary's cool. Which one? The
I
yellow
like-
one or the white one?
The white. I like the white one.
Because it's got the aftertaste. That's
Because it has that bitter.
But I
like that the best. That's just me.
When you have it in contrast to like the egusi soup, and you get a little bit of that
So
bitterness,
awesome.
and you
So
get the
awesome.
spiciness, and then
But here's
there's that
another
good
thing that
Nigerian.
you don't have in America in the Nigerian restaurants. You don't have Mexicans cooking it. See, that's the thing.
Wait, Mexicans cooking Nigerian
Hell
food?
Yeah.
Where?
Shoot.
I have never seen a
never-
Mexican cook Nigerian
I have.
food. Where?
Never.
In New York, not in LA.
Chicago has, Chicago has a big Nigerian. I grew up in Chicago. We have huge. So I remember I was like, oh, this food is amazing, because Mexicans cook a lot of the foods. The Thai food, they got people in the kitchen. They cook everything. Damn
Really?
near. Oh yeah, the Ecuador, yeah, they cook all that.
Nigerian food though?
Listen, excuse me, I was there. So
Okay.
You're in the kitchen.
I was like, man, this food is banging. I'm thinking there'll be some Nigerian women in the back. The guy was like, all right, bueno. I was like, what?
Wow, that's
Oh yeah,
interesting.
because they teach them
Right.
how to cook. I've been to
Interesting.
Thai restaurants where the Mexicans are
Yeah,
back
that's
there.
I've seen that.
Sushi,
But not
and
Nigerian
I've never seen
restaurants.
Nigerian.
Mexicans
Yeah.
are cooking everything, but you don't see them on the Food Network. Anyway, not one Mexican on the Food Network. It's all.
Really?
They cook in New York. Mexicans are in the kitchen, like Ecuador, Mexico, because I know some of these
Like
guys.
the
So you have the
Chinese-
Ecuadorians.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
making all the food, the breakfast.
But the Jamaican spots though, they're all Jamaican though.
No, I
They
can
let
see
me
that,
know
but I
Jamaican
wouldn't be
food.
surprised.
Yeah.
These Mexicans, they learn.
You know what
quick.
we
They know how to
we
make it.
just came up with a new show. We're gonna start going from city to city, going into Nigerian restaurants. Like, Who's cooking your Nigerian food?
Mi bueno, comida de Nigeria. Sí.
We just gonna pop up. Who's cooking your Nigerian food?
Right.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite Nigerian dish?
So it's not really Nigerian per se, it's West Africa. Okay, you know what? I love Yoruba jollof rice. Let me just start there. Like, that's my favorite. There's no jollof rice that competes with it as far as I'm
Nothing can
concerned.
beat any other jollof rice from Ghana, no Senegal, no
For
Liberia.
me, I've never had Senegalese or Liberian
It's
jollof
amazing.
rice. Oh, yes, I need to try that.
I want to
But
try
then
that.
until I try that, I'm talking about in Nigeria, there's no jollof rice that competes with Yoruba jollof rice.
Yoruba.
In my opinion.
There you go.
None.
Yeah.
But my favorite dish overall, it's not Nigerian per se, but of course, most West African countries cook it, is grilled tilapia and plantain. Like, you can...
Grilled tilapia and plantain?
You can sell me with that. That's my favorite dish of all time.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
As long as you say the fried plantains, I'm
Yeah,
good. That's
for
like
sure.
that's
Got
my
it goosey.
jam.
I'm good when I see a goosey.
Yeah.
But also, my plantain have to be fried a certain way.
It has to be soft.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
Listen to him. Listen to this one.
Okay,
Listen
ready?
to this one.
Wow.
Go
Oh
ahead.
my
I should sit
gosh.
over here.
Yo, you should.
Yeah.
The way I do it, I like the thing to be ripe. I don't like it super ripe. I don't like it too. Yeah,
Oh,
I
you like
like
the yellow? The yellow?
No, I like it in between because I'll slice it and I slice it thin at an angle.
Right,
like
right,
my
right.
mother used
Just
to.
like me,
And
yeah.
it's very flat.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
flat, but it's not like green where it's hard. No, it's right in between. I don't like it super, super sweet.
Okay.
I like it right in between.
That's lovely
Watch.
too. That's best with egg.
I'm gonna come in the crib and I'm gonna do it and you're gonna see, you're gonna go, yo, and then you put salt on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Watch
That's
what
it.
I tell you.
So what you've described is how Igbo people like their plantain. What you've described is how Yoruba people like their plantain.
I don't like mine
But-
super sweet.
This is interesting. I didn't know that. Okay.
But the thing is, the Yoruba way of enjoying plantain is actually best with jollof rice. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, with the jollof rice.
Yeah, because
and then you're
I
saying
like it with
for
stew. We'll
breakfast.
put stew on ours sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
We'll put stew on it.
Like
Yeah.
the Igbo way is always nice with like
With stew.
stew, egg sauce.
Yes.
This is real. That's
beautiful,
That's
though.
actually
But
either way.
Yeah,
It's all beautiful stuff.
that's very educational because I didn't know that there was a difference.
But you're not
I just
Yoruba, though,
assumed,
are you?
Yeah, I'm Yoruba.
Oh, you are Yoruba.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
I only assumed until you said that. I just thought everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah.
No, I
Yoruba,
enjoyed it.
Yoruba's cooking was different than ours. My mother could burn, and when there was Yorubas in our building, and when they would bring their food, I go, oh, it's a little different. It would taste a little different. I'd be like, they taste, it's the oil.
I'm gonna have to come over and see how you make it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
and
you
I'ma show
slice
you
it
how I do
diagonally and like thin, like you said.
I'm gonna
like
pull
mine
up
thin. I don't
because you
like it
guys
thick.
all just did something. We all did it. And this didn't change for me until I got married to an American woman.
Yeah.
And you guys all did the whole sign of like, I slice in the angle as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
angles, man.
Yeah.
I
They
do it.
long, and they're
I
long.
do it in
And
my
they-
hand, and my wife
Same.
thinks. Then she's like, "Oh, babe,
Same.
babe." I said, "Babe, it's different. Like I slice
Yeah.
it because that's how I was taught." And
Yeah.
she's like, "You're gonna cut yourself." I'm
No,
like, "Oh, no."
it's an art. It's a
Yeah,
technique
yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
it's an art. I cut it in my hand. I don't
Yeah.
do it on a chopping board.
Did your
You
father
do the same
do
thing?
orange? No, I leave it in the rind. I split it. I split.
But
through
what
the
do you cut?
middle.
Do you cut it in your hand, or
I
do you
just
cut
leave
it on the board?
I just leave it on the table, and I slice it in the thing while it's still
Okay,
in
no,
the.
I literally cut it like this.
I cut it. I do the whole thing. I cut the
Yeah,
end
yeah,
off.
yeah.
I cut the end off. I split it down the middle.
split it.
I take
Right.
it off, and I go.
I just leave it in the thing.
Oh,
and I
you
go,
do? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do the cubes? Sometimes I do it. It depends. If it's like super ripe, then I just cut it down the middle and then cut it again and then. You know what I mean?
I've never done
Cube
the
plantain
cube.
is nice when it's super ripe.
Cube, right? Super
Yeah,
round.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a little greedy because I just want the big, the big
Right,
circle.
right.
Well, the
I
orange,
don't
did
like
your-
it when it's like big.
Which one?
I like it. No, you like it when it's big.
Yeah, like, well, no,
When
just
one plantain you cut it 3 or 4 times and that's
No,
it?
not that
okay,
big. No.
okay,
I cut it in a
okay.
bunch of slices, but
Same.
No, you're talking about the cubes, like where they're a little smaller, right?
yeah. Oh, you don't like that? Okay, cool.
Because sometimes there's plantains that are really round. You ever get the really round one? Mine, I like them in the
slanted.
egg,
Yeah.
Do you know
The
what? I
round
think
ones-
it even influences the taste, to be honest, because round plantain doesn't taste as good
No,
as
it
slanted
doesn't. It's
plantain.
too thick. When it's
think
thin
so.
and you
Yes,
salt it,
I
you're
think
like,
so.
"Ugh."
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Did your father? This is what my father always did too for oranges, right? My father said, "Do you want orange?" We'd be like, "Yes, Dad. Do it the way you do it." My father would slice the whole thing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
be a
yeah,
big
yeah.
string, and he would
Yeah.
split the top. My dad would
Wow, nice.
take
Yeah.
a knife.
So
and
do
go,
you like?
I can do it for you. The orange. You take the orange. You'll eat orange. You'll never want to eat orange again, like because you take the orange off and that white
Right.
skin is still on. My father would split the
But
top
do you,
and give it to us.
as Nigerians say, do you suck it?
No, pause. What you talking about?
That's
Just
brave.
suck it, man.
No,
What's
that's what I
talking
said.
about?
As
Don't ever talk to
Nigerians,
me like that. You said, do you suck it? Man, hey, man.
That's the
Yo,
phrase.
whose man's is this right here?
I knew it. I knew.
You knew he was going. You knew.
I knew I was trying not to go. That's what I said. As Nigerians say,
I'm like, just like
because
British.
that's actually it. Like it's
What?
called you suck the orange. That's what it's. That's the phrase.
Orange,
when
man.
you cut it like.
Nah, man.
When you cut it like
I'm
that, that's what you're expected to do. You're supposed to suck the orange.
Okay.
So how do you eat it? So once you cut
I eat it with my teeth, man.
Oh, so you like bite?
do you suck the
wait, no,
orange?
Godfrey, listen.
You wanted me to go like this?
Listen,
Yes, I do.
Wait. So when it's in the white
Yeah, the top
thing,
part, you
so then
eat
you
it.
just like this, or do you?
No. You eat it and then you just.
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So he sucks.
You can,
So
no.
he
You
essentially
bite it. You
sucks
can
it,
bite it
yeah.
and eat that skin, the white part.
No, you don't eat the white part.
No, you don't. You guys different. You different. You have different parents.
So
man. Plus, you was the only
Americanized.
child. So now, as I was saying,
Oh, in Nigeria,
if I have an orange right now, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Honestly, it's literally called sucking orange. That's
Man.
when you eat it that way, it's
My
called
father
sucking
would say, "Who
orange.
wants orange?" And he just, it's like an art form.
I gotta say,
I'll
never
do
experienced
that for you too.
Yeah, it's cool.
I ain't gonna have you
Especially
sucking
when it's
nothing.
chilled, right? It's been in the fridge and then.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
father would just. It was beautiful. He'd let us keep the long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cultural differences in Nigeria, the men will do the prostrate, right?
Yeah.
And for the women,
Depending on the culture.
Depending on the culture.
yeah.
But it before it was, I felt like it was a norm. I think it's gotten a little too cool. Like, and then the women will do the nkunle, where they would do the getting to the knees.
I mean, in my culture, I ain't got to do that, but
What did you?
if I'm dealing with a Yoruba person or
right.
Yoruba family, I'm happy to do
Yorubas
it.
do.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So was that different when you came from the UK to Nigeria and you saw like, what is this? Or did that throw you off, or were you?
I mean, I always knew about it, but yeah, it depends on the person. If it's like an older Yoruba person, then yeah, I don't mind just doing like a little one, But yeah, it's never been expected of me culturally.
Yeah, it feels like it's faded off as the generation just.
Yeah.
I feel like my generation might have been the first one to kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do a half posture, and it's gone from a full
To like, what
prostrate
up?
to three
Yeah.
quarters
What up,
to the
King?
half, and then that was just kind of a quarter
What
thing.
up?
You be like, what up, King? All right.
It wasn't until I got older where I
Yeah.
started to realize just connecting back into kind of what was important. Because at first, growing up in American culture, and my parents would, tell me when we had elders come to the house, and I just felt like it was so weird because, that's not how my friends when I'm at school
Right.
were doing things. But as I've gotten older, I've started to appreciate one of the things, like even if I go to Japan or anywhere in the world, I love to kind of see what is it that they're doing traditionally? Like, in Japan, you do the whole bowing
Yeah.
thing. And I'm like, well, shoot, if I can do the bowing thing in Japan, why wouldn't I be able to do, this in Nigeria where I'm
Right,
meeting the
right.
elders? All right. So I got to ask you, what's the biggest difference between Nollywood and Hollywood? People hear Nollywood. It's exploded now. It's kind of in the lexicon of everybody now.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
biggest difference?
The biggest difference is. Okay, let me just say this.
Keep it real.
Keep it
No,
100.
I mean, in Nollywood, we can shoot a whole feature in a week. We could do it. But here, they're taking 3 months.
Months. And
Yeah, 6 months and stuff like that. So that's one thing that's a massive contrast. I feel like, of course, in Hollywood, the quality is
Do
on
you
a
see
different
the
level.
effects of it being too fast, though? Because let's say
yeah,
you shoot
for
a movie in
sure.
3 weeks. Have you ever seen movies that like, this is flawless and they only did it this long? Or do you go, no, you need an extension of time?
I feel like if Nollywood had, we had more equipment, more funding, more time, we'd be able to produce even better films.
Yeah.
But then when you consider what we're working with,
Yeah.
it's
2 takes, move
commendable.
on.
Yeah.
Kind of like soap operas.
It's
here in the United
commendable.
States.
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
because they move
But you
very, very
can
fast.
see, the effects of the
Yeah.
quality sometimes
Yeah.
on soap operas in America.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that adjustment like for you going from Nollywood, then coming here to Hollywood? There's a certain royalty and level and respect that you get from, being in Nigeria and being a massive, massive star in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then there's the adjustment of how people are like becoming familiar with you here in the States. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that's another culture shock for sure. Obviously I lived in Atlanta for 3 years before I moved to New York. And, like you said, in Nigeria, I'm a star over there. My lifestyle is very different. I have a driver, chef, basically everything I could ever want, you know? But then when you move over here, it's like, you don't have access to these things anymore.
No.
And then I'm also dealing with the fact that nobody knows me here, you know? So you gotta just humble yourself, you know? I don't even like saying humble because nobody should be humbling me, but ground yourself. Yeah.
Add words.
Yeah,
But I know,
exactly.
but we know what you meant.
You know, you just-
No, I,
Yeah.
I looked up the definition of humble.
Yeah.
And it means to like feel lower
I hate that, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know. I thought it was, just, no, grounded.
Ground,
is like
yeah,
grounded.
yeah. That's funny because I did the same thing, and how I feel about the word humble is a bit, yeah. But I feel like the culture shock was definitely there, and I feel like in Atlanta, you know, I wasn't obviously not as busy, you know. So for me, my journey in the US initially was just about rediscovery, like rediscovering who I am, what I want, who I am away from my career. Because I feel like in Nigeria, I was just on the go. It was like shoot a film, create something, build something. Okay, what's next? You know, like type A, basically what I mean. And then come in here, it's like, okay, I needed a break. That's actually how I initially got here. I was like, I need a break, just need some time for myself. I need to just enjoy being in the moment. I never knew how to be present in Nigeria. I just knew how to just keep going because I had this future goal I was after, you know? And after a while, I was like, yo, like, I need this, you know? I need this for myself. And I just realized that I was done. I don't want to be a celebrity anymore. That's the truth.
Wow.
I literally just want to live a normal life and kill it. And then, if it comes, whatever. But I just really don't want to live that celebrity life anymore, you know?
I get that because I think there's so much tied into that. Like the time that I can kind of relate to where I was nowhere near as big of a star as you are, but in football where everyone physically just could only identify me as, the football player, the former NFL guy. Yeah. And after a while, what ended up happening is that's how you identified yourself. Like everybody saw you for your occupation first.
Right.
And then once I wasn't doing that anymore, it was a massive mental shift for me. And I just told myself coming out of that, I would never associate who I was to what I did.
Exactly.
Because it just changed everything. Because tomorrow that show could be gone. Tomorrow that game could be gone. And so I needed to be comfortable with who I was.
Exactly.
And even me being comfortable, I think it started to change the way everybody else interacted because it wasn't like, I'm such and such on this show and I'm doing this podcast. No. It's totally different.
It's totally different.
I am who I am.
Exactly.
But in your journey, you went from a vacation and then turned it into your new location.
Yeah.
What's next for you, Beverly, in your new location?
So for me, I'm just really focused on enjoying life.
Yeah.
No, but ultimately, I definitely want to build my career as a filmmaker, just tell stories that matter, empower Black women, Black people. And I also have like an event called the Skin Summit, which is like really dear to my heart. It was birthed as a result of Skin, the documentary, and it's basically has its own ecosystem, and Skin Summit happens to be one of them, a part of it rather. And I did an event in Lagos. I'm bringing that back in 2026, which I'm super excited about, and expanding it to other regions as well. So I feel like for me, it's like, I just want to be impactful, you know, I just want to enjoy my journey. And I feel like I'm in the headspace where I can just enjoy working without it becoming my identity, you know? And I feel like it took me a long time to get there. Well, get here rather, which is why I needed those 3 years away from doing anything just so that I can get to this headspace. It hasn't been an easy journey. I mean, it's been a lot of unlearning, a lot of just understanding my worth away from my career because I honestly didn't know it, you know? I remember, and I mean, I haven't shared this before, but I remember, you know, just right out of COVID, you know, I was having a session with my therapist, and then she was saying to me that, you know, I was really low, you know what I mean? And she was saying to me, you know, I'm going to be very honest with you, and you may not like this, but the reason why you feel the way you feel is because you've placed all your value on your career, and that's it. So you don't know who you are away from your career. You know what I mean? And if you don't work on that, you're going to be deeply depressed whenever things don't go your way. And you're not going to be able to come out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when the wake up call began for me. And that was in 2021.
Wow.
So after that, I was still working, still living my life, but I didn't feel fulfilled. You know, after a while, I was like, this is just too much. Who am I away from this? I had built this incredible persona, but I didn't know much about my personality as Beverly. You know what I mean? So I was like, who is this person away from this career? And being in Atlanta, that was the opportunity for me to again, basically hit ground zero and rediscover who I am. What do I like? What are my hobbies?
The simple stuff.
Yeah, the simple stuff that I had no idea of because it was Beverly Naya. This is what Beverly Naya has to wear. This is how she needs to look. This is what her brand needs to be all the time. What does Beverly want? Wow. I don't know. Wow. You know what I mean? So that journey was empowering. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It was obviously humbling because you're looking at this life in another country in comparison to what you have over here. And it's like, woo, my life is way different now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then it was fulfilling because it's led me to who I am today, where I can actually live and authentically without being tied to a specific brand all the time. I'm just living the life that makes me happy and achieving my goals at the same time. I think it's a win-win.
New York is a great place. Sorry. New York is a great place for that.
Yeah.
Everyone's just going about their business. Most of the time, they don't give a
Love it.
You're just being normal.
100%.
Talk to you. It's just, that's what I love about it. It's just, you're always grounded in New York.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on a subway, there's his underwear going.
I agree. I love that. Everyone's minding their business.
And it's beautiful. You just came from shooting a movie and all of a sudden this dude's like, man, kiss my ass. You're like, what?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I see actors. I've seen Dustin Hoffman walking around. I've seen actors just going to the store.
Living a normal regular
Kevin
life.
Bacon.
I love the subway. You know what I mean? It's called the subway or metro. Subway, yeah. I love the subway.
Yeah.
Like, I will take a subway. I don't care what I'm wearing. Do you understand what I mean? Like, if that's the mood I'm in, I'm going to do it. Of course, I'm going to take Uber and whatever, but if that's the mood I'm in, I'm going to do it. Why? Because I'm from London. We're used to the tubes. You know what I mean? Like and I love to people watch. I can't do that.
I'm an observer. That's what
I'm a people watcher, but I'm a people watcher, but I don't get on the subway.
Oh, hell no.
Not you.
Why?
Just,
you can't be looking at people on the train though. Like,
you got to be careful how you do it. You got to be careful how you do it.
You got to be careful, yeah.
In New York, you don't look directly. You just kind of
because everybody, it's foreign. I've been on there a couple of times, but I'll get on like with my manager or something like that. But I don't go by myself because in the 80s and the 90s, it was like there was like the people get murdered, and so I still think
you'll be.
I'm like, nah, I don't. And then it'd be like the New York rats and stuff like that. I'm like, no.
You're so LA because in Chicago, I took the bus and the train. Our mother's like, you take the bus and the train. That's
so
normal.
Wait, you don't take the subway here?
Oh man, I took the subway for years, but now I can't. Really.
Yeah.
I'm being serious. I used to even like a couple years ago, I would wear a hat. People were like, yo, there go my man.
Yeah.
So now they're following you and you're on a train trying to get to your stop. I can't do it. I really can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Ever since social media, I get bum run. It's like I can't do it.
Much,
and I was a train riding dude.
I love the train, man. I love to just people watch. Yeah, Uber's great as well. But then once in a while, it's like, you know what? I want to take the train today, man.
Every once in a while.
I want to ask you this because we only have a little bit of time. Your documentary, because you were just talking about, just kind of being grounded, understanding who you are, and coming into knowing that. And I find you to be very introspective, very aware. There's a conversation that we've touched only on the very tip, but you have this documentary, Skin, and it kind of goes into colorism and skin bleaching. This is something that I witnessed in silence growing up.
Wow.
And I guess if I'm honest, I always thought that, there was something wrong with dark skin because I saw the bleaching. If for someone to get all this cream to change the skin color, and this is, again, I know it's like almost like the dirty secret that nobody really wants to talk about, but it's something that really it's something I witnessed growing up. You know what I mean? And I even wondered, like, maybe I should use, bleaching cream just because I was made fun of in school, and and I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
they always talk about black something, black that, high yellow.
Right. So it wasn't a standard of respect or beauty, right? If you're dark, like, oh, you're dark. You know what I mean? And they would even say it with that voice, like, you're dark.
Yeah, condescending.
Yeah. So what inspired you and what made you do this documentary, and what do you hope people get from this? It's a fascinating look into this whole inside.
Thanks so much. I mean, so what inspired it was, first and foremost, I got bullied when I was a teenager, well, not even before that, but anyway, got bullied and stuff like that. it wasn't really colorism attached per se, but it definitely affected my self-esteem when I was, young and in my formative years. So when I moved to Nigeria, I knew that I wanted to I wanted to start an anti-bullying campaign. That was my original goal, but then I felt like I just want something that actually will resonate, and I started doing research, and the more I researched, I started I think I stumbled upon a quote by Willie Lynch.
Willie Lynch?
Yes, and he said, divide the blacks by complexion and rule them for 300 plus years. Yep. That's what he said. And that's basically what sparked the movement of skin and the documentary and everything, because in Nigerian women are the highest consumers of bleaching cream in Africa. 77% of Nigerian women bleach their skin. And when you think about it, it's like, you think back to this quote and you're like, you're really dividing us till today, There's this hierarchy of beauty according to complexion where it's like the lighter you are, the better. Culturally, in society, it's there. And I felt like this is another form of bullying, right? Yeah. So if I basically shine some light on colorism in Nigeria, because it wasn't a topic that was talked about a lot. People knew that, you could literally look at a dark-skinned person and you would say, oh, blackie, and it was derogatory, it was offensive, but there was nothing to kind of define what that act was. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh yeah, it is what it is, it's blah, blah, blah. But then it was colorism and they didn't know what it was, So with the documentary, I was able to kind of shine some light on colorism and what it is and how it's affecting Nigerians, and, talk about bleaching and the effects of bleaching. And the whole idea was just to inspire people to love the complexion that they're in and appreciate themselves for who they are. And that was basically what inspired that movement. I mean, it came out on Netflix literally 2 weeks or so after George Floyd died.
Yeah. Wow.
Naturally, it blew up,
Right.
So many people watched it.
I remember.
Yeah, so many people watched it and the impact was insane. You know what I mean? I mean, of course I was at home. Couldn't do anything with it. But I was really touched and empowered by the amount of people that were, felt moved by this documentary, and just the amount of lives that I was able to impact as a result of it having that global release at the time that it did, And since then, I've just wanted to keep that movement going. So again, I expanded and did another project called Skin Talk. It's not out. And I've also done, events. I've done the Skin Brunch. I've done the Skin Summit. I mean, I'm doing another one this year. I'm expanding it to other regions.
You're talking about color. That's so
yes,
good.
exactly.
I love this because...
I'm going to say something real quick.
Yeah.
Because Ambi was around me.
Ambi?
Ambi was the light in Nigeria. They used the product Ambi.
Right.
AMBI.
Okay.
That was the popular skin lightening cream.
Wow.
And I would, my auntie, whatever, I would see it. I go, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And Ambi was around. It's an old product.
Wow.
Ambi. And I was a lot of Nigeria, you would see it in some Nigerians' house. Like, oh, what the hell? There's that Ambi shit. And that was the skin lightening.
Crazy.
Cream.
And I wonder if the documentary changes the behavior, or is this so deeply rooted? Because I know, I'll tell you, even for me on a personal side, and I think, you're seeing the bleaching, in Africa, but there's a different type of bleaching that happens here in the United States. And that is the shame that comes even now. I think even more people are more aware. And I love my black women.
Yeah.
My wife is biracial, so she's lighter skin. And just even the amount of, well, why'd you marry somebody lighter?
Right.
So that your kids wouldn't come out too dark?
No. That was never something.
People do that too, because I don't want my kids to come out too dark.
Yeah.
Albino.
That's self-hate right there.
Yeah, that is self-hate. For me, that wasn't a thing. But I will say that my standard of beauty was very highly influenced by the media that you watch.
No
because,
doubt.
Oh, 100%.
Because if you start looking at it, I find this fascinating, and this is a really deep, good conversation, but I think about in my era, when I was in that dating, right? Light-skinned women were
more
really
desirable.
kind of were considered more desirable. Then if you look at some of these ball players now, right, and these NBA players, right, they bolstered the Kim Kardashian look. And if you start looking at these guys, you're like, oh wow,
Now they gravitate.
They're all dating some version of a
Kim
Kardashian, so to
like
speak.
that ambiguity,
racially
ambiguous
ambiguous.
race,
The dark hair or whatever.
It's the same look.
And so you realize that the power of influence, because I'll get to like from some of my, my good friends, like almost like it's personal, like, well, why didn't you date a dark skin or marry a dark skin woman? It's like, wow, you start trying to unpack that, and it's just like, wow, like, it's no different than why do you want to wear those shoes that are in style, or why do you want to wear this fashion?
I always say it's not the preference that's the problem; it's the reason for the preference. Yeah.
And it's not the preference that's the
issue. It's the reason for the preference.
There is like fetishization, there is self-hatred, there is like, and you don't want to call anybody out, but I look at, there's a joke I do where I said, wow, the NBA is so light-skinned now. That's why it's whack. I said, there's not enough dark dudes anymore, because there was Jordan, we had Xavier McDaniel, Clyde the Glide Drexler.
Hakeem, all of them.
That's why not a lot of guys don't go to the middle no more, because light-skinned dudes bruise easy. So there's nobody, that's why there's a lot of three-pointers. Other than Steph Curry, who's light, but he's from black parents. Think about everybody shooting threes. It's very light-skinned. There's a lot of broccoli-headed, Drake-looking dudes.
Not broccoli-headed.
You know the broccoli-head style where they got the...
my son wears his hair the same way.
I said, I think, and this is me because I'm a crazy comic, but I said, I think there were a lot of insecure dark-skinned dudes in the 80s and 70s, and they said, I don't want my kids to suffer what I suffered, so they would get with white women or whatever. Now you have a very light-skinned NBA now.
Fair, and you got to think about the times as well, because like you said, in the 80s,
NBA stand for not black at all.
Wait, what?
No, he just...
I actually believed you.
Can you believe it's called not black at all?
When you think about, society and the way we just kind of project a certain standard or image of beauty, it definitely affects how you view yourself. You know what I mean?
And everybody falls to it, because it goes beyond, but it also speaks to this power of it. Like I find little things, like when I'm watching, I love like watching the guys come out of the tunnel for football games or coming off the plane or whatever. Yeah. And you'll notice the sign of success is you got to have a Louis bag, you got to have a Louis belt, you got to have a Gucci something. Right? There's a particular way that you have to dress to show that I've made it. I'm a ball player. I'm like, where did this come from? It was an influence that just said, and so when you bring that over into race and think about how that was marketed, I'm going, oh wow, and I've dated women from all different shades, but when I think about that, I'm like, wow, so much of how I dated, so much of what I saw was based on the influence of what the standard of beauty was.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I used to be I remember in college, my first girlfriend, she liked me or whatever. And there was a guy, another light-skinned guy, was like, why does she like you? I go, why not? Because I was dark.
That's a crazy thing to say.
Like, but I'm better looking than you, dude. I mean,
not better.
But no, but there's
that's
better
what you
looking,
said?
There's dark. Yeah, I said I'm better looking than you.
Cool.
Your teeth are not as nice as mine. My skin's better than yours. But that to say as a dark person, say you're better looking than a light skinned person, like what?
Yeah.
And they could be ugly.
Problematic.
It's if you see a pretty dark skinned girl, it's like, and then opposites do attract. That's fact. Because there's light skinned women that like dark men. Yeah. And they're black women. They just go, I like dark men.
Yeah. I feel like we just also have to be careful with, when it comes to our kids as well, because
it's
our
very
children
important.
are always absorbing all this type of information. Like we had a part in a moment in our documentary where the little girl in the documentary was talking about the fact that the dark skin, I can't remember anymore, but something to do with dark skin in the documentary. And she was like, how that's not beautiful. And the light skin or the white thing, whatever we use, I can't remember the experiment anymore, was more desirable, more beautiful. Yeah. And she was a dark skinned girl. Yeah. She couldn't even understand why she felt that way.
Were they doing any of the doll experiments? The doll experiment?
Yeah, we had something similar to that, but it wasn't quite that.
There was one experiment, it's famous. It's now, I love it because it pops up on social media.
Yeah.
And they show these dolls, these faces, and they go to the darkest, and white kids, black kids, is like, who's the meanest?
Right.
And they go, point to the dark. Right. Who's the smartest? Point to the white. And it's not true. But
it's happening
all white
everywhere.
It's all news, white, European, colonial. That it's in Asia. It's in Asia. It's India.
Yeah.
What? It's in India. All brown countries have that. Even their advertisement is nothing but light people in this dark country.
How has that impacted you with dating? Like, has your preference changed because of what's the standard for beauty? Like, because when I'm speaking as a man, but how's that impacted you, and what's your dating life now?
I kind of gravitate towards dark skinned men. I do like dark men. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Has it influenced
Yeah,
how
and
I
what's
date?
your dating? What's your dating life like now? Let's put it out
I'm
there.
going to be so honest. I avoid this question like the plague, and I always do. I've done
Not
this
here
since,
at 154.
I'll tell you why. Because I will never forget one time that I answered something similar, and the headline. I literally talked about my career the entire interview, but my dating life became the headline.
All right.
Ever since then, I was like, I ain't talking about my dating life. You know what I mean? It's just a disaster. You know, I literally talked about so much, and then the headline was why I'm not married, or why I'm dating this
Well, they
person.
got to do that to get some eyes on it.
But do you think that's particular to women? Because I feel like with women, it's like, the pressure is, the pressure is like, well, why aren't you dating? Or who are you dating? Or why don't you date? It becomes more or less about, why aren't you is like kind of the question,
Yeah, but the thing is, it traumatized me because this was very early on in my career.
Wow.
So I'm just like, how am I talking about, excited to talk about this movement, what I'm doing in life, and then the focus is my dating life. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it just felt very... I just found it degrading, man. You know what I mean? So I was just like, nah.
I appreciate that. I wanted to get back to pay.
Yeah.
Because pay in Hollywood, a lot different than pay in Nollywood. What's the pay like in Hollywood? Obviously, I know you're...
In Nollywood?
In Nollywood.
It's not great.
It's not great. What needs to happen to change that? And because you start thinking about Nigeria...
I ain't gonna lie to you, there's no point.
No. I love this.
Here's some plantain, here's some fufu. Action.
Yeah, I love this because...
Not that bad.
We got chin chin is your pay. Take a couple of those.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Oil, natural gas, and entertainment is massive. And obviously the natural resources in the earth.
Yeah.
What, to me, just seems like the next big thing is to invest in building up Nollywood even more and the infrastructure, because the stars like yourself that are coming out of Nollywood, and you see the investment even in Africa, like you think about Netflix and its investment into Nollywood, like to see Nollywood films pop up on Netflix, I was like, oh shoot, like that was a big statement,
definitely.
To where you understand that there's a massive appetite for something different, something new, something refreshing.
Yeah.
And it's an introduction, especially to the Western side. What is the, I don't even know, the entertainment officials, the government, what needs to happen to get Nollywood to that place where you're getting actors who are making a lot of money over there?
I just feel like there needs to be a belief in what's being built. First and foremost, I feel like the government they're not convinced, or they just don't care. One of the two, you know what I mean? And I feel like, that infrastructure needs to be in place as well. I feel like right now there's a lot of just figuring it out, but I feel like we need to have that in place in order to build an industry that's just thriving beyond local content, It definitely needs funding. Nollywood is so underfunded. And with, when you consider what we're able to create on, with just such little funds, you can only imagine what would happen if the industry, received the type of funding that it deserves. But then the government just isn't supporting it. There's also that.
Yeah, I was
that's a big thing. The government's not supporting it. Yeah.
Nigeria has been plagued with a corrupt government. I mean, they're MAGA.
Yeah.
The guy's MAGA. The president of Nigeria is MAGA, which is insane. But
I'm even talking about the Nigerian government, by the way.
Nigerian government. Yeah. It's because people do things under the Nigerian government. They just go, we don't worry about them.
Yeah.
A perfect example is our soccer team. We have some of the most talented soccer players. They all go to Europe because they won't pay the Nigerian soccer players.
Right.
Even Pablo Escobar, if you know who Pablo Escobar was, he funded the Colombian soccer team. He put money into them, uniforms, he put facilities. Even him, a notorious drug lord, said, oh, no, entertainment should be something at least you would think.
Yeah.
We at least want to make our entertainment. That makes us money. You want to have
because it brings people,
even
tourism.
Even the mafia in America, casinos, we love our entertainment because that brings in money. And Nigeria won't even think like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane because the most notorious crime syndicates go, we got to make sure our entertainment is right.
And there's something just like you take the models here in the universities here, they invest so much into football and basketball, into sports, because it brings awareness to the universities.
Exactly.
Most people want to go to certain universities because of the team. And they're not even athletes, right? They're not even athletes. It's just because it shows the culture.
That's a very American thing. I love it.
And I think the same thing, and one of the other things could be is just the conversation about, throughout the diaspora, and really keep creating a community about how to fund movies and shows and ideas, and to build them bigger and to build that infrastructure there. Because I'm telling you, like, when you think about the size of Nigeria, 300+ million, almost the size of the United States when it comes to population, and the appetite for entertainment, and be able to really, really like prop that up.
And the
studios,
it's under 4. It's like we have the youngest like, population in the world.
Yeah, but you also have to consider the poverty levels in Nigeria. They're really high, man.
When you think,
it's hard to build when a lot of people can't even afford to watch your films.
The government is just,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the average, I think the average salary is about $2,300. $2,300 a year. That's US dollars a year.
It's probably lower.
What is that? Right. But I'm sorry to say it, the people that are running it, they just so greedy.
Unfortunately,
Anyway.
What is, you're going through this transformation. I guess last question for you. So I understand that you don't like when men call you queen.
I knew this was coming.
Why is that?
Do you know what? Let me just say, this is my personal experience, and judging by my comment section, a lot of women feel the same way. You know what I mean? I just don't like endearing words or names when you don't even know me. When you barely.
Think it's a bull crap line?
Of course it is. Yeah. Like, if I'm like, baby, you'll run a mile. I don't care what I look like, but if a woman's just literally hitting you up, you start talking. There you go.
That's a crackhead. When a woman goes, baby, you looking good, crack.
Right. Exactly. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, I just think it's just unnecessary. I feel like, get to know me and, see where this leads. But then what tends to happen is when you get all those endearing pet names and blah, blah, blah early on, you start falling for that.
And they don't treat you like that eventually.
You know what I mean? So you don't really see the real them. You just see this person that they're presenting themselves to be.
The representative.
Yeah, and then they're seeing this idea of you, and they're falling for that. They've created this fantasy in their head, especially when you're in the public eye. Yeah. They've created this fantasy in their head of who you are without even taking the time to actually get to know who you really are as a person. And they just feel like, okay, let me show up this way because she's going to appreciate it. But you're not getting to know me. Now, I actually have actual personal issue with the word queen. Like, all the other ones, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? But queen, I just don't like it because every man that has ever called me queen in his life has been problematic. Every single man. You know what I mean? Now, let me just remove myself from the equation for a second. Have you ever watched this show called Pop the Balloon?
No.
Oh yeah, the dating one.
Oh, the dating one.
This one guy, and he proved my theory immediately.
Hey, queen.
This is the one with Yvonne.
You mean it's the plumber, Aaron the plumber.
I love about the girl with. I think she had. I don't know what the issue was. But he was like literally coming for her, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know, queen. You should do something about that, queen. You don't qualify, queen." And I'm like, "Thank you for proving my theory." Do you get what I'm trying to say?
He's dogging her, going like this.
Dogging
you can qualify, queen.
Exactly.
I appreciate that,
exactly.
Queen. Hilarious.
It's super hilarious. So I think about that a lot. But then when I'm talking about this, it's literally just problematic. Like, I just always feel like they're the ones that don't treat you right because they're always projecting with that language first. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, cool. Let me start with it this way. And then they end up being the emotionally immature guys or unsafe guys. You know what I mean?
That's just really... the lure.
What about when girls say, because I know girls are like, yes, queen, yes, queen.
Yeah, so let me, so I don't even like being called queen, period. No one needs to be calling me that. You know what I mean?
What about the B word? You like that?
Why is everyone calling me that?
Like, what's up, bitch?
No one calls me that.
I love
so you know what? Like, I mean, this
and
queen
I
thing.
Definitely didn't say it towards you.
Don't get me wrong. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. If people call me it, it's cool. Like, culturally, sometimes there are cultures that actually just say it. Like, for example, Jamaicans. Wagwan queen. Do you understand what I mean?
Queen,
it's cool. You know what I mean? Because I know that's a cultural thing. That's not literally... it's
gaining
not,
you up.
Even Igbo guys, my queen,
How about mama? What's up, mama?
Right. That's cool. It's whatever.
Mamacita, hey, wepa.
See, that's what I mean. Like they're not trying to court me. That's different.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's when it's in courtship where it's like, you know, like when I was younger, we wouldn't speak for 2 days and you hit me up, hey queen, I've been thinking about, get the hell out of here.
But wait, ladies and gentlemen, the queen is here.
That's different. That's
Your
a different
Majesty,
context.
the queen
That's a
is
different
here.
context. But no, ultimately, I just feel like, you know, for some guys, it's a form of love bombing. And if you're not self-aware or if you're not emotionally intelligent, you can take that bait. You know what I mean?
True.
Because there are some guys out there that will present the best version of themselves to you.
Yeah. And I think that's in dating period. Like I tell my, you know, especially I've got an older son, and when I tell him, I'm saying, look, like the first 3-4 months, you're literally talking to the representative.
I agree.
And I think
That's right.
going both.
I agree.
Like, you're me, but
Everybody.
once you get to that point where you're past the representative, that's when you start to, because people will start and say, "You changed." No, it's not that. You just never
Right.
saw
You
this
just
part
never saw
because
it.
I
Exactly.
put that.
I agree. Yeah. So I feel like consistency over intensity. That's always my thing. You know what I mean? If you can be consistent, if you can consistently call me my love, or you know, do all these nice nothings for me all the time, cool. You know what I mean? But if you're the type that's like, okay, I'm going to start it, and then next minute the demon comes out of you, and I'm just like, who the hell is this?
I said, give me my fish sticks. You think I'm bull?
Exactly, yeah.
Get queen out
So I
of
feel
here.
like when it comes to dating, I feel like, you know, just give it time. Consistency is important. And it's like, the more consistent you are, the more I know you're serious. But yeah, guys that tend to use that queen term early, they're always problematic. Always.
well,
and it's actually a red flag.
Well, I'm going to say this. We really, really enjoyed having you here. Beverly, can I say princess?
What?
I'm just joking.
What's up, Duchess?
No, did you see how crazy that sounded though?
Yo, what's up, Duchess? Hey, Duchess, how you
Like,
doing?
there's no way I'm taking you seriously. There's no way you're
How
getting
about, she's the bad man, Majema?
She was like, no.
I would think you're crazy.
All right,
Just as
we
fine
got
as
we
she
got a
can
game. We got a game that we wanted to play before we
Okay.
go.
I'm gonna say one word, and you have to come up with a motivational quote. All right, this is the Godfrey game.
Okay.
Ready? Love.
Love yourself from within, because you are powerful and you are enough.
Nice. Family.
Family is good, but love your... Let me come back to that one. I need to think.
Well, you know, you was the only child.
Give her
I
two
get
more.
it.
Two more.
Right. Yeah,
Relationships.
Relationships are beautiful if they're with the right person.
Right. Natural.
Team natural all day, every day, baby.
Queen. Yuck.
He's trying to get under your skin.
No, it's right there.
Do your thing, King.
You have about cough?
Cough, mate. With a cocky
How about
accent.
friends?
Friends are cute, but you got to be careful, man. You know, there's some snaky people out there.
Heard that.
Like that, and I
Yeah.
always like to say, this is something my neighbor told me. She said, you would be lucky if you can say in your lifetime, and rich, if you can say you've had 5 friends in your lifetime. And you
Amen.
think about that, like 5 real friends in your
I
lifetime.
agree with that, 100%.
Black men.
There are some really good black men out there. Just be discerning and take your time.
Yeah. Black women.
Black women are incredible. We are powerful and we are doing incredible.
I needed that
There are
same.
some scallywags.
I needed that same energy for black men. I needed that
Some of y'all
same.
ain't, and I'm not gonna let you say that.
I
There's
needed
a
that
lot of
same.
brother chicks out there. A lot of queens out there.
When I was asking, I was like, because I knew he was gonna come to me.
You were like this. There are some black men. He's like, oh, black women are just wonderful.
We wanted that same
Wonderful.
energy for black men. Well, we're gonna say here. We're gonna stop it right here. We're gonna
One
stop
more,
it right
one
here.
more.
No, we gotta stop it right here. We gotta stop it right here. This is 154 Beverly. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
154, we all connected, baby, you already know. I'm talking 154, we bringing Africa around the whole globe. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like, ain't no place.